fucking podcast time!
Hail!
Woo!
Wee!
Woo! Are you hyper-religious? Is it okay?
This podcast should be American. 110% fucking blood red American. The NDAA.
Fuck yeah!
Everybody
Slaying
swing
vagina.
Cyborg Jesus.
Jesus, America.
Hey, this is Redban coming to you live for a brand new episode of Pointless. Here is Kevin Pereira.
Jesus! It is I, Kevin Pereira. My guest today, the beautiful, the talented Erin A. Darling is here. Cannot be her real name. Absolutely cannot be. We're going to find out when you changed it and why you changed it. Is it a witness protection thing? It is absolutely adorable. The name is fitting.
Thank
It's
you.
Darling, but I do not believe it's real. So we're going to get into that. But first and foremost, I got to talk about a subject that is near and dear to my heart. It's something that I know everybody cares about. Brian has been nagging me incessantly to talk about it.
Yes.
And that subject is, of course, me. And it is the thing that I love to talk about the most, and I want to give folks an update on my life because I'm told people care. And this is the only way I communicate with my parents anymore. They listen to the podcast, they resent me further, and that's that. I ignore their emails and say they never arrived. So recently, I took a trip to Detroit. Have you been?
I have
Familiar?
never been there. I've
Okay.
been to Ann Arbor.
That's also Michigan, correct? That
Is Michigan.
Isn't
it's,
Ann
it's
Arbor?
the nice part of Michigan.
It is, right?
Yeah.
It's like the college-y area, is it
Yeah,
not? Like
it's-
microbrews and like quinoa and segways and like drum
Exactly.
circles and healing crystals.
Yeah, you get juice, you get beer.
Yeah.
Lots of fluids happening there.
I went to the make sure you pack your flak jacket portions of Detroit. That's where I was. Actually, it was funny. When I tell people I went to Detroit, the reaction, even Brian made an audible... What, can you do the noise again? Yeah, people make this whimpering sound, and then they would come up and sort of clutch me and inspect me like John Connor inspecting the Terminator after he's been shot for the first time.
Like monkeys and fleas.
Totally, yeah. They pick at my body. They're trying to see where I'm leaking blood or making sure that my wallet's still on me. And I got to tell you, that image of Detroit is not what I saw whatsoever. And it broke my heart when I was there. I discovered that I had a heart, and then it subsequently was shattered when people from the community and people on Twitter were saying, hey, please, Kevin, like, say nice things about Detroit. Tell, like, the nice side, because the media is beating us up, and it's pretty terrible, and I didn't know what to expect. And when I landed, there weren't streets filled with, like, flaming tires that were just sort of rolling madly. There weren't, like, guys carnival barking with, glass meth pipes in their overalls and saying, hey, come and buy these things. I'm sure that exists somewhere. I'm sure there are houses imploding and there are really dangerous parts. Obviously there are. Those stories exist. But I think that you can tell that tale about any city if you focus on the wrong block or the wrong section, right? Maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah, you could tell that story about Chicago, too.
Totally. Los Angeles has that. NorCal
course.
has that. Every place has that. And what really, really got me, though, was that I was there to promote this game show that I host, Let's Ask America. And so I was out there, and at one point I was at a local TV affiliate who shall remain nameless. And I was there, and I brought up the fact that people were tweeting me saying, hey, say nice things about Detroit. Like, there is a good story to tell, and I brought that up. And the people who worked at the news station, some of them looked at me and they're like, fucking media. And I was like, what? And they're like, fucking media. Yeah, they tell such one-sided stories, and they're beating us up and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, their noon broadcast showed a screenshot of their own website that said, like, local man smokes crack on public transportation and bites face. Local teens get in gunfight. They're bleeding. We're talking about it at 11. And I'm like, you're the media. Don't tell me, like, don't blame others for pointing fingers. You are the guy. Find a squirrel trapped in a tree. Find one that's water skiing. Every local town has a water skiing squirrel. Make that your lead story. Don't make the crack smoking and the bleeding and the tumbleweeds filled with, tears. Don't make that your lead story. And I was amazed that even there they were crying foul at the media when they themselves are the media. That was bizarre to me.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah. That was I was there for this event called the Dream Cruise, the Woodward Dream Cruise, where they shut down 3 straight miles of road, and then 1.5 million people come from across the country. That's the number I was given. 1.5 million people come, and they cruise their classic Corvettes and Shelbys and everything. I mean, it's Detroit. It's Auto City, and or Motor City, right? Is that the thing? Am I gonna...
Motor City.
Now I'm going to be shanked. How ironic.
Rock City?
Weeks
Rock
after
City,
coming back.
yeah.
Is it Rock City? Is that what it is?
Well, it was Rock City,
Well,
right?
that's what it is to me.
Yeah, that's the movie.
Did The Rock go bankrupt too?
No.
I know Kid Rock was there.
Isn't that a movie, Rock City?
Yeah.
Detroit
Is it
Rock
Detroit
City.
Rock City.
Yeah, and now it's Rock City, like crack cocaine Rock City.
A rock,
Other kind of rock.
A rock by any other name. So I was there for this event, and they shut down the streets, and these cars, go through, and it's a slow parade, and I couldn't stomach it. I loved it. I love these cars. I thought it was amazing. I mean, my car knowledge is like, oh, look, there's a pretty blue one, and there's a silver one with red stripes. That's as much of a man I get when it comes to car knowledge. But the amount of exhaust that poured out of these 1930s cars that clearly didn't have catalytic converters was nauseating to me within 3 minutes. And I was like, I don't know how anybody's going to sit here and watch this. And sure enough, from 8 a.m. till about 10 p.m., people sat on the sidewalk drinking beers and barbecuing and high-fiving each other as this parade of classic cars went by. And that is a testament to something. I don't know, Detroit grit, their stick-to-itiveness, their ability to stomach exhaust fumes. I don't know, but I was impressed.
You should just go to Burbank. They have it every Friday. You don't have to go to Detroit. They have classic car show day there every Friday.
It's probably not on the same level, right?
It's probably way better.
Just fucking Google image search it, man. You see all the cars. I really did love at one point, though, a Tesla drove by in the parade, which is, it's all about the classic cars, these gas gugglers, these loud machines. They would do burnouts, and people would scream as they were covered in tire smoke and burnt rubber. They fucking loved it. I'm like, I was running away from it, but there was a moment where a Tesla came by, and somebody's like, "What's that?" This old couple, and someone's like, "Oh, it's a Tesla. It's like an electric car, like a battery. It's got like a battery in it. Where's the engine? It doesn't have one. It's got a battery. Well, that's weird. Yeah, I mean, apparently they're pretty comfortable. You can fit like 4 or 5 faggots in there. I mean, it's totally fine." I went, "Oh my god,
that's hilarious."
It was amazing. Yeah, just it's really roomy. You could fit a couple queers in there and drive and gas it up and fist each other at a rest stop. I don't know, whatever. Like the level of tolerance they had for the electric car that wasn't spilling fumes out onto the sidewalk was very minimal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you buy any houses when you were there?
I didn't. I heard that they were like available. They're
$40
cheaper than Monopoly houses.
$40, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, you can get a whole block.
You could buy. I've been saying this recently. I almost want to buy a bunch of houses just because, like, the stock market. In 7 years it's got to be better. Like they're probably going to turn around because I've heard like the city part of Detroit's awesome, but it's like that outer layer, the outer skin is just disturbing.
Well, Detroit used to be huge,
Yeah.
tons and tons and tons of people, and their bureaucracy grew to service that many people, and then the people left. Industry shut down, but the bureaucracy stayed the same size. So they had a lot of mouths to feed and a lot of new cars to buy and a lot of kickbacks to make good on, but they didn't have enough taxpayer dollars to fund that. So the bankruptcy is seen by them as a good thing.
I just
It's
hope
a chance for them to clear house.
it would be cool that Apple or somebody went there and just like put up, like, hey, we're just going to build our IMAX there from now on, or something like that. They need to have
Hollywood's
some.
going there.
What Hollywood is? Yeah.
Yeah, Transformers 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what I did there. Yeah, they shot a little bit there, and then they're going to China, taking it international. And actually, Neil Blomkamp wanted to film Elysium. Well, he wanted to film it always in other locations in Mexico, but he wanted Eminem to be the lead.
Really?
Yeah, originally before Matt Damon came in, which is crazy, right? I could kind of imagine him in that role. Have you guys seen that movie?
I have.
I've seen him act.
Wait, when? Because I haven't seen that.
He did some cameo in some movie where he was at a party at the end of it. Do you remember where it was like him and like
Well, he was-
Ben
Well,
I
Stiller?
saw
He was 8
Mile.
Mile. He was
I thought
Mr.
he was
8 Mile.
actually pretty good in
Yeah,
that
he
movie.
was all right.
Yeah,
He was
but
better than Justin Timberlake was in the one where he had the time tattoo.
Oh my gosh,
Right?
that's right.
If we're comparing music types with acting music types, I think...
But Justin Timberlake's gotten a lot better.
He has gotten better.
He's pretty legit now.
Yeah. But he's also playing roles that I believe are probably closer to his real personality. When he plays the Sean Fanning from Napster, I believe Justin Timberlake's that guy.
That's true.
Maybe
But
not.
the same
Maybe I'm
thing with
totally
Eminem.
misguided,
Like
but-
I think he could be a gritty dude, and
Yeah.
I think that 8 Mile he was, and I think maybe possibly in that role he could have done it for Elysium. But the reason why supposedly he turned it down is because they didn't want to shoot it in Detroit, which is funny because I interviewed people on the red carpet for that, and they said that they literally, I was like, where did you guys shoot? Mexico, literally on a landfill. Like it was smelt so bad, and we had to wear stuff. So Neil Blomkamp,
I love the excitement in their voice of like, my hair was falling out, I lost teeth, they shattered on command. It was
so
amazing.
excited though because it's a great movie and they're excited about the project for everyone to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Neil
There were
Blomkamp,
three-eyed little Mexican
Yeah.
mutants selling me chiclets. I had to face palm them out of the way.
Kidnapped me.
He'll film on a landfill, but
Right,
not not in
Detroit. Oh, that does. I'm trying to say positive things about Detroit. No, that's totally valid. And they were filming Transformers 4 there, and it's interesting you mentioned that they were going to China because apparently they were making parts of Detroit look like China.
Yeah.
And like, it's just cheaper. I mean, if that isn't clear the direction this country is heading, where it's cheaper to take the bankrupt, failing city and make it look like China to appeal to them, because now you can't have a blockbuster unless it's big in China as well. That's startling for the movie industry.
It is crazy.
I want to have an Elysium chat. I totally want to do it. We're going to do it right now. I just want to summarize that with, I swear, the Detroit thing overall, super fucking positive experience. I know I said the Woodward Dream Cruise wasn't for me and that, that it had its pockets. I had a fucking awesome time, and I just wanted to thank anybody who's listening out there. I met a lot of fans, some of this podcast, some of Attack of the Show, some of Let's Ask America. But I really quickly want to thank everybody because it was amazing. You guys were fantastic. All three of you that I ran into who are hopefully listening to this. Saw the Tigers game, took the People Mover to the casino, won some money playing craps, felt totally safe walking back to the hotel, even through areas where supposedly I wasn't going to feel safe. I had a phenomenal time, and everybody was awesome. So fucking go to Detroit. If you get a chance, get on out there. Go suck some exhaust fumes, look at some classic cars, and man up. And speaking of man up, we'll get to the fact that I cried 3 times last night. But I want to talk Elysium because I saw your review of Elysium and you enjoyed it. And when I was done with Elysium, I wanted to love it and found that I couldn't.
See, I went in feeling the reverse of you because I went in with very low expectations. It was never a movie that looked excited for me. When I looked at the spreadsheet of everything coming out this summer, Elysium was not even in my top 5. I was expecting it to be mediocre at best because I love District 9 and I love the director.
Love Blomkamp, love District 9
love
as well.
Him. I think he's brilliant, and I think what he does with low budget, with $30 million for District 9 is absolutely insane. And now that budget had tripled for Elysium, I really didn't know what to expect. So I kind of went in like, not expecting much. But when I saw the film, I actually thought it was visually amazing. And yeah, maybe some of the themes and the healthcare stuff is a little heavy-handed, but I don't mind a filmmaker with an idea or something that he wants to get behind.
Sure.
To me, I think more power to you. Use that platform for what you want to say and go for it. Freedom of speech.
It's funny. See, the 30 million to 90 or 100 million budget that he had, that made me expect more. And that's probably part of the problem is that I go, look, you were so amazing with that 30 mil. Now it's weapons free. I don't pretend to know what studio influence there was and how tied his hands were behind his back with the cast and with everything else. But I expected a $100 million movie, and visually, dude fucking delivered. And when I was done, I was talking with Bria about it, and we were arguing back and forth about, like, we were nitpicking things. And then I said, well, we got to take a step back because Neil created a world. And we bought into that world 100%. We bought into the fact that there were these slums, that there was the Elysium Halo Ring planet up there where everybody lives and they're healthy and amazing. But that is in and of itself as a feat. But I thought the characters were so one-dimensional. I thought, like, this guy's good, so he's good. This guy's bad, he's always bad. I didn't feel like there was any nuance. I love Spider. I did like that character,
him.
The sort of weird arms dealer guy.
Favorite.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. But I thought, like, Matt Damon was Matt Damon. I wanted to spend more time on Elysium and see what was going on up there and actually explore that planet. But when it was all said and done, I felt like it was a really beautiful paint by numbers. Mm-hmm. One of the best paint by number cat pictures ever. But it was still like, oh, number 6 is that color, number 5 is that color. Our hero's our hero, our bad guy's our bad guy. The love interest is going to pay off, and there it is. Yeah. And maybe I should be okay with that, but I just kind of wasn't when I was done with it.
Yeah, see, I kind of agree with you in terms of the characters because I had a problem with Matt Damon. Although I love him and respect him, I don't love him in that role. I think it could have been cast a little bit better. And Alicia Braga, I mean, I like her a lot too, and she's the nicest woman ever, so sweet to talk to. Mm-hmm. However, I didn't believe their chemistry. The little girl too, I mean, I did have problems with the characters, with the main characters.
He's the one shining white hero in the sea of brown people too. That's what I love.
Oh my gosh,
that was
that's
amazing.
Right.
Like, don't worry, guys. The one white man in this sea, well, other than the managers at the factory, the one white man in the sea of brown folk is going to be the hero in shining armor. Don't worry.
Yeah, and I mean, I thought it was interesting I said this in my review too, where I felt more invested and interested in the villains because I thought they were played so much better, and they totally upstaged the main actors. And that's not supposed to happen in a movie. And I kind of chalk it up to casting, to be honest. But other than that, I thought it was visually spectacular and really, really fun to watch. And I love a good sci-fi, and I love to see a new novel idea that's not a 3, 4, 5. Like, installment of some franchise that we've seen a million times. So, I mean, I got to say that I'm more on the side of liking it than I was on the side of disliking it.
I agree. No, you know what? That's valid. I at least like that it was a new IP, and I appreciate that as well. It was visually stunning and amazing. Was it successful, like box office wise? Do you know?
I mean, it was okay.
Okay.
But we'll see. I mean, China, like you said, it's
Yeah.
the international markets are really defining whether or not a film makes it or breaks it at the box office. And we saw it happen with Pacific Rim. I mean, a bomb here, but internationally, it's doing so well.
It
because
opened to,
Guillermo
like-
del Toro is a genius when it comes to putting international stars
totally.
in his films. I mean, he knows people are going to see them. And I think you have to start thinking that way when you're making films now. Like, it's dumb to not.
Right, well, 100 million plus, you've better start thinking
yeah.
that way. Yeah.
It's grossed so far 57 million. And,
Elysium?
Yeah, out of 100.
Is that
million
worldwide,
budget.
or is that...
It's just
Do we
it's
know?
gross.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if it was 100 million to make, it was another 100 million to market.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. So they got a long haul. I think, Guillermo, speaking of Pacific Rim, I want to mind meld with you now.
Let's
to
do
a
it.
place where one hemisphere of my brain connects
Ooh.
with yours, Matrix
Are we
style.
drifting?
And then we're going to drift, Tokyo drift. We're going to do that, and we're going to pilot a mech because I need to be learned on you. I am familiar with your YouTube videos. I think they're fantastic. I think you do great
thank
interviews
you.
and great hosts. But from whence do you come?
From whence do I come?
Yeah, what's your story?
I'm from the Bay Area.
Oh, you're from
Just
NorCal
like
as well?
you, yeah.
Which part?
San Jose.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I hail from the Bay Area, and I came here to go to school. I went to USC and studied broadcast journalism.
Is that when you decided on making the name Erin Darling?
Yes. Now I was like, this name just really isn't working for me.
Is that your real name? Is it?
It is my real name.
That's fucking unfair.
That's awesome.
That is bullshit.
Yeah, that's
Some
cool.
people are born with the name Pereira. Find me on Twitter, letter K, and then smash your forehead against the keyboard and hope it comes out. Erin Darling. That's fucking unfair. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you come from a long line of darlings.
I do.
What's Mama Darling and Daddy Darling like? What
Oh my
is the
gosh.
Darling family?
My
It's got to be
mom-
black and white with animated bluebirds landing on your toothbrush. Was it like a
Somewhat.
rosy upbringing?
Kind of. I mean, my mom is from Mexico. She's actually born there.
Mm-hmm.
And she grew up in Orange County, and my dad grew up in San Francisco. And they met. This is such a funny story because my dad was actually married to his college sweetheart from Cal Poly, and they were getting divorced. And his ex-wife or separated, estranged wife
Right.
moved in with my mom, and that's how he met my mom. And
What?
it was like love and romance and sparks. Yeah, and they've been together for 28 years. I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive. I like that
Crazy.
move of like, look, I'm leaving you, but this one, hold on a second, get out of the
Right?
way here. This one's great. That's fantastic. Are you only child or
I have a little darling sibling.
You have
my
a little
brother.
darling.
Yeah.
what's the gap?
2 years.
Oh, so not bad.
Yeah, we
All right.
actually we live together. Isn't that funny?
That's so you both moved to LA together or
No, I've been here for much longer. He actually just celebrated his 1 year LA anniversary, so he's a newbie, a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of a neophyte in this town, but he's doing so well. He's living his dream. He's
He's up to 3 rails a day.
oh yeah, totally.
He's going to be a superstar in no time.
doing yams. What are we
Cutting
calling?
yams in the kitchen. Shout out to 2 Chainz. What's up, 2 Chainz? Got to get you back on the podcast. I love him.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, he's doing really well. He does like engineering at studios, and he's a producer, and he's in a little band.
So he's also in the industry.
Yeah, so he's on the music side, and I'm in the hosting, writing.
So you went
producing
for
side.
journalism?
Yeah, that's what I studied in school, and then my first job out of school was at TMZ in the newsroom, and I realized I don't know if I want to do like news. I don't want to break news. I'd rather talk about news.
Well, that also, I guess they treat it like news over there. I'm like, that's TMZ's not news, but then again, they actually do more hardcore journalism than CNN probably does
Yeah,
these days.
but here's the thing: Harvey Levin I really respect him a lot. Actually, he decided that he wanted his company to basically be the premier source of breaking entertainment news. So they are breaking news.
Sure.
So no longer are they the equivalent of National Enquirer. You know, they're out there getting sources and establishing these relationships so that they can be the first person to tell you Michael Jackson died, which
Right.
is exactly what they did. And that's when everyone, the whole world was like, wait a second, they're
Right.
legitimate. So working in that newsroom was a really, really crazy, fast-paced, hectic environment because if you can't break a story, they're like, okay, we need to move on and find someone else. And I was just like, I'm not passionate about breaking news, but I love talking about it. I love making jokes about it. I love writing about news. But I don't want to be like the one that gets that information first. That's not what excites me.
Right.
You know what you should have broke? You should have broke the fact that TMZ illegally pays people at the LAX airport to give them lists. They're called flight lists. That they get a list every day that goes, oh, Mike Tyson's on this flight, Lindsay Lohan's on this flight.
Right, yeah.
How
Be at
fucking
this
crazy is
baggage
that?
terminal.
Yeah.
But it's no different with hotel check-ins and with maitre d's and with everything else, like the hosts or whatever, the club promoters. Like, it's a business. It's a side hustle of information, right? It's
amazing,
so
though.
Kudos to them for getting in on it.
When did that story come out?
It didn't come out.
We just broke it just now.
Inside.
Breaking news.
The Pointless Podcast, Death Squad Network. We break some news. We'll make that shit up until it's real.
No, because never mind. I better not say anymore.
Yeah, don't out anybody. You're the anti-Snowden.
Let's just say.
Listen, let me tell you my source right now.
Let's just say I get phone calls all the time, like, "Oh, if you want to see Lindsay Lohan, and she's going to be here at 4 a.m." And I'm like,
Jesus.
Wow. Can we play Informer by Snowden right now?
Right.
The remix.
No doubt.
Is there a remix of that?
No,
I love that. That was my first cassette single I ever purchased.
Really? Are you serious? It would be.
You know, sit at me, snow me, I go blam, I licky boom boom down. I know every lyric of that damn song. It's the worst. So growing up, a mini darling, did you at a young age say, okay, this journalism thing, this TV thing, this is something that I want, or did you trip and fall into it?
I wanted to be everything when I was growing up. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to be the president of the United States. I had no idea. I wanted to be a cat.
Sure. Sure.
didn't?
Yeah, I still want to be a brony.
Right? Why not? But actually, I started getting into what I'm doing now when I was about 17, and I randomly had this. I actually won like this local pageant. And through being Miss San Francisco Bay Area Teen USA, I had
What? That is a long title to have on a sash, by the way. Miss San Francisco Bay Area Teen.
And it wasn't even like SF. Like, it was the whole word, like the whole thing.
You've got to feed it like ammo through a machine gun.
like,
Hold on, look at all these words. Look at all these words.
I got to get taller to wear
What
this
was that
thing.
like? Was that like your first major pageant, or were you doing like teen modeling kind of things, or what was that track like?
Yeah, I was kind of doing some like Bay Area teen local stuff.
Like a local Rip Curl shop. Like, hey guys, come on down, boat car wash thing, whatever.
Kind of like random print modeling and stuff like that, mostly for tech companies like HP. Like, I'm like the girl on the printer.
Oh, well, that's better than the C-Ray. That's better than the bikini and we're doing a celebrity wash thing. That's cool.
Yeah, so basically, anyway, through winning this pageant, I was able to kind of get this random opportunity to start hosting like this local public access TV show called Spotlight TV. It had no money, no budget whatsoever. And
so it's like YouTube. I got it.
Yeah, it was just like me and like this random camera guy that made the whole show. And it was kind of like a magazine type of show where we'd go, literally, he'd be like, okay, go talk to the guy in the kitchen. And we'd go to some restaurant and I'd have to start interviewing
the
people
local
on the
Greasy
spot.
Spoon. It's like, talk to Hazel's
Oh
Burgers.
my God.
Here she is, Miss Teen San Francisco Bay Area. Look at her smile, look at her grace.
Oh boy.
Don't Photoshop things on her face. Here she is, Miss Teen. So I want to get back to the news show, but with the pageant stuff, I'm always fascinated at the behind the scenes. Like when dudes go in for these bodybuilding stuff, look up some synthol videos. Now they're using this stuff called synthol, and they'll inject it and it'll artificially make their biceps look fucking huge. Or there's a Guinness Book of World Records for like the biggest, he's like Iranian or Indian or sorry to offend entire regions. He is something. And he's got the world's largest biceps, and it's synthol, Synthol. I bring that up because some people will do like the crazy fake tans, or they'll do calf implants or whatever else. At that level, was there any sort of manipulation or gamesmanship where...
Damn.
That's probably photoshopped. But
no, that's actually real.
Look for the YouTube video of that.
Okay.
Basically, please, because you got to see what this looks like. I'm curious, at that level, like, are there tricks of the trade? Is there psychological warfare going on?
Yeah, there's stuff to do that you can do to kind of, manipulate your body into looking a certain way, I guess. I got really good at that. I still am, if I need to be.
Oh, you got a dish. Come on, tell some secrets.
Well, here's one of them. This is going to sound really weird, but I've done it before. You wrap your body in saran wrap, and you go for a run if you really want to drop water weight and look cut fast. You do that, like, I wouldn't do it more than for 5 days. But yeah.
Wait, for 5 days in a row, you would wrap yourself with saran wrap and go running to cut that weight?
I know people.
That's like a wrestler weight cut. That's intense.
Like, to look a little more cut, to just
Holy
drop the
shit.
water. Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy. Sometimes.
And then do you sell the saran wrap on eBay? Because I know a lot of guys that just for a sniff they would buy it now.
It's so disgusting.
Yeah, it's like brown
literally,
juice.
You just
brown juice.
Especially if you fake tan. If you fake tan and you sweat the tan off, it's just like disgusting.
Just like tobacco water, like
creamy
someone cleared an
brown.
ashtray.
Oh yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah, you're seeing that's what synthol muscles look like. Well, poorly injected ones. People are getting this drug and just jamming it into their chests and their biceps.
I'm sorry, but that just looks terrible. That looks like a tumor. That
Yeah.
does not look like a muscle.
It looks like
I don't
Quado's about
want
to
that on
burst
my
forth
body.
and start the reactor in Total Recall.
They
Like,
also
that is-
do this in penises in porn. I don't know if you've seen that, but yeah.
Oh, not just in porn. Sometimes,
Yeah.
like at my house, whatever it takes. All right, so the Saran wrap thing—that's interesting. I heard Preparation H
Yeah.
sometimes will draw the water out, so people will put like hemorrhoid cream all over their body to.
Same thing with Saran wrap. I tried that once, but it made me feel itchy. So I was like, I'm never doing this again. But yeah, there's stuff like that people do that
That's
people
wild.
legitimately do to try to look a little. Mainly, all it is cutting water weight. To be
Sure,
honest, you're not
sure.
changing your body. Like if you're just doing that and not working out, you're stupid. So you got to work out, and
Right.
then if you do that, it's kind of like those are some of the.
Well, that's a little
random-
added cheat to get
Yeah,
you through to
yeah,
the competition. You
exactly.
gotta. That's what it takes to win at that level. I love that. Did
It's
you?
so weird.
Did you have like a Q&A round at the pageant?
Yeah, there's an interview.
Oh my God, what was the question?
To be honest, I don't really remember what a lot of my questions were
Yeah.
back then. That was so long ago.
Did you have like a coach or a guide that was
I-
like, listen, when they ask you about
I
world
did.
issues, you did?
Yes.
Oh my God, what's that guy or woman like?
Well, I had two coaches when I was younger, when I was a teen. This is before like the whole Saran wrap too. I never did that when I was like 16, but my coach initially was this woman who had daughters that were really, really successful in the pageant circuit, and they went to my high school. So I became friends with the family, and she would help me prep for pageants, and a lot of it is about interview stuff. So
Sure.
they kind of like throw out current event questions. You're expected to have opinions on things and know
And
what's
not
going on in
say
the world.
the maps and such. And the
Exactly.
Iraqs and the, yeah.
Basically, you just have to be able to formulate a somewhat coherent, intelligent, if you can, opinion
Right.
about whatever it is they're asking you. But a lot of it's about you. And like super, super personal questions. And those are always pretty easy if you're able to think on your
Really?
feet.
Is it like you're up there and then they go, so tell us about your first period? Is it like that?
Oh.
No? Do they never ask about the first one? I think that's the most precious. It's the most special.
It's the best smelling.
That's what I want to hear.
Terrible.
I love that you roll your eyes and go, oh, that's terrible. And then you say,
No.
it's the best smelling. Don't hide who you are for Erin. She is darling, but don't pretend you're not
just-
the guy who would order a mason jar of that off Craigslist.
Sometimes
Oh
I
my
just like
God.
saying things and running away.
I apologize. I'm so
Ridiculous.
sorry. I don't. I say it to be sweet. But all right. So then you go to school for the journalism. You do the TMZ thing. You decide, hey, the news is cool. I respect the way they run this operation, but I want to be giving the opinion out. I want to be interviewing. I want to talk about this stuff. So how do you make that transition?
Well, actually, it had something to do with G4. It was actually
I'm sorry, G what?
G4.
Is that's a computer or a private jet? That's all I know
I
about.
think it's a new Android device, actually.
Oh yeah, the Galaxy G4. I
Yeah.
love that thing.
Exactly.
No, how did G4 help or
It was-
get in the way or how did?
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I had some weird breakfast. That was outside.
Oh, I thought you actually triggered a sound effect, and I'm like, oh, Brian
I
produced
thought
a
so,
segment.
too.
Here comes a bonus round.
That was just a creepy.
All right, fair
horn.
enough. Please.
But it was a couple of E3s ago, and my modeling agency submitted me for something having to do with being a booth babe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We used to have like in the black leather things with the checkerboard stuff.
But it was like an online contest thing.
Oh, okay.
Where it was like vote for the girl that you want to be the booth babe, and that was kind of like one of the things where I was like, well, maybe I could actually do things that weren't news related. Like maybe I could do stuff like this, or maybe I could host.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did that thing. I didn't actually win it. So sad. But I
No,
did.
congratulations.
No,
Congratulations.
I was kind of glad. But at that point, I just started kind of randomly working online for a whole bunch of outlets
Mm-hmm.
and making content for Yahoo and for Daily Phil, and became their video content producer, and ended up at Clever and Alloy Digital. Oh yeah,
I was
and
gonna say,
then
you
I
do
did
stuff
this.
for Alloy, you do stuff for Crave,
Yeah.
and then you do personal stuff as well. And then where does the comedy come in? You do stuff. Is it UCB that
yeah,
you do stuff
I
with
do
as well?
sketch and improv over there. I'm a student at UCB, and then I used to do stand-up. I kind of stopped recently.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't done it in a while because I've been taking this comedy intensive, which has been fun.
What
But
was your stand-up routine? Like, what was the kind of stuff you talk about?
I would talk about growing up half Mexican, being a Mexican white girl. You know, like the Mexican girl that
Right.
nobody knows is Mexican.
Isn't that the best of both worlds?
Kind of.
Right?
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I mean, like affirmative action, good to go.
Very fertile.
You know.
Right, you're like, I'm gonna grab all the grants. I'm gonna grab all the grants, but none of the awkward stares when I go shopping for handbags. Like, that's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I would talk about dating in LA.
Mm-hmm.
I would talk about being in your 20s and how everything's an excuse to drink and things like that.
Nice. Well, you had a great excuse to drink because you wrote a beer pong sketch, which is on your YouTube channel, which I thought was very funny. That's
Thank
fantastic.
you.
So I love that you're doing the writing stuff as well, but you're also producing shows and pitching shows, yes?
Yeah. I'm doing that too.
Fucking mogul. I love that stuff. Where are you
Just
taking
like
the private
you.
jet next weekend? Oh, yeah, no. Do not compare yourself to me because that is a bankruptcy waiting to happen. That is a breadline and sadness. You don't want it. Trust me.
So funny.
No, like how did the beer did you do a lot of drinking in your 20s in LA and were you the beer pong girl or was this completely made up and
To be honest, this is for a Comedy Central contest and for a pilot. And my sketch group and we got together one day and we're like, okay, let's enter this. Let's write something new that we haven't done before. And it just kind of came down to we're sitting in a room not knowing what to write. And I said, well, there's two things I've always wanted to do that I haven't done yet. One of them is to write a revisionist history pilot.
Okay.
And the other one is to write a sports comedy. Because I love Eastbound and Down. I thought it was getting canceled at that point, and I was like, we need a good
Eastbound's
sports
great.
comedy.
Basketball.
Exactly.
Did you ever see that? Amazing. Trey Parker, Matt Stone. I love a good sports comedy.
Joey
Yes.
Diaz.
So funny.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of the idea that resonated about maybe writing something about a sport that's not really a sport that people treat like a sport, and maybe that community is really serious.
Some callers
about
just
it.
popped up on a visor-wearing dude bros. Like, what do you mean a sport?
Exactly.
You attacking my pastime?
Yeah, so we actually did some research and spent some time at this bar at Corona called Rax. It's actually like a beer pong bar,
Right.
and everyone plays by the rules, and they have like the legitimate tables that are the right length.
Regulation tables. I love it. Yeah.
And so we learned a lot about the game, and we actually shot it there too at Rax.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so we wrote this crazy female-centric sports comedy, and I love it. It's so much fun.
So, what is there? I don't know the next step on that career ladder. What's at the top of it? Like, where do you want to be in 6 months' time, 2 years' time, 5 years' time? Where do you see Erin Darling?
I want to be Whitney Cummings.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You may have two canceled TV shows.
I didn't want to say it.
Back
I was
when
trying to
they-
be polite about it. I was like, oh, okay. Now she's incredibly talented and very,
She's
very
talented.
funny. So
I think she's been able to do things that a lot of women haven't been able to do. I mean, she had 2 shows picked up that she wrote. That's
yeah,
insane.
that is crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to sell a pilot. I want to host a show. I want to have my own talk show. I want to have an empire.
And what is the talk show madness?
What is it?
Yeah, is it like daytime talk, like you and emotions and paternity tests and summer dieting tips, or is it late night that hard journalism roots coming out, or is it more Entertainment Tonight, kind of pop culture fare?
I think I want to do something that's probably more late night and probably a little more current event based, but not necessarily about current events. Maybe about people's views about it. I've had actually a talk show that was pitched to me that was a late night idea, and I don't know where that stands. I should probably email that producer. But yeah, no, it was kind of along those lines. I was like, whoa, this would be amazing if it was able to get funded and work out. But you never know in LA. It's like so many things. Just fall
And that's what I was
through.
going to ask, because I think there are similarities with this journey that is media and working in it on a talent side or on the behind the camera producing side. But I'm always curious because I don't have that experience. All the electrical tape in the world does not get me treated like a female in this industry. So I'm curious, have there been points where clearly you were someone was trying to take advantage of you, someone was trying to use you, and did you step into any bear traps and get some scars and go, okay, I'm not going to do that again? Or how has that journey been for you?
Of course. I mean, as a woman in this industry, you obviously have to be really, really careful that you're not taken advantage of. And I mean, I think I've been really...
You should see the way Brian's leering at you, right? Fucking
my
stop.
gosh.
It's disgusting. It's making me uncomfortable. Jesus. You're molesting her with your
I'm
eyes.
looking at my iMac.
Okay. Sorry.
my iMac. But yeah, I mean, I think you always have to err on the side of caution, and I've always been really, really good about that and determining kind of what to go and what not to get involved in. Although at times you kind of don't know if you can trust people or not, so you have to have a good filter and
Sure.
a creepo filter.
Have you been burnt? Have you taken a leap of faith and then been totally burnt by it?
No, I think I've trusted people a little bit more because that's my innate response is actually just to believe what people say. And maybe I believe what people have said a little more than I should and
Sure.
didn't really take it with a grain of salt. But I've never actually been hurt and it's never affected me negatively. But yeah, I'll let people in and get to know them and see, okay, red flag, I don't really want to do this. Actually, a great example, this is about a year ago, there was this person who called me, it was a producer, called me in for a meeting. We have this meeting and then he wants to take me out to dinner to talk about something. And I said, okay, fine, but I insist that I bring my friends. So I brought my best friend Morgan along and we show up at this dinner at Boa and it's literally just a table full of girls like model-y
Right,
girls.
right.
And I turned to the girl next to me and I'm just like, hey, what do you do? And she's like, oh, I work at Nordstrom. And I'm like, okay, I got to get out of here. So literally Morgan and I would just look at each other. We're like, all right. So we go up to the guy and I'm like, thank you so much. It was so nice to see you. And he's like, where are you going? And we're like, this is not my thing.
Anywhere but
Thank
here,
you.
creepo. I'm not part of your harem tonight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like a Shetland pony being like paraded around in a public
Totally.
place when obviously this person has no intention of talking business with me at this point in time. So I was like, thank you. Bye. And
Got to be that guy.
stuff.
I'm
like
sorry.
that.
No, that's terrible. That's terrible.
It's really not that bad because whatever.
No, but
I
at least you had
left.
the foresight to get
wasted-
out. But there was a table full of women who maybe didn't realize that they were all there for the same to stroke the ego probably of the same
Yeah.
guy or to jockey for the same position in his car that night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stuff like that happens all the time. But I feel like the more you're here, the better you are at identifying
more aware. Yeah.
when that's going to happen.
So now, as someone who's creating content, I'm always fascinated by the audience that you attract and whether you appreciate them or you're disappointed in them. And I went through some of your YouTube comments on your videos, and I'm just
boy.
curious, like, do you love or loathe those people?
Those people.
Those people, yeah, those
Wait, oh.
those YouTube commenters, the people who are full Latino, not just half, because they're taking time to write on YouTube videos. It's not like they have a day job, so.
I feel like the YouTube comments that I get are kind of split down the middle. Well, you'll get the people that are interested in you and in your career, and they have positive things to say. And then you have the other people that tend to be a little more on the creepy side, where they want to talk about your boobs or that you're hot or something, or something weird like that. And I mean,
like I saw that on one video, you took the time to explain to somebody that the characters in the video are make believe, and I was like, that was super sweet. But I don't like I'm not that kind. I don't take time to pet people on their helmets and say, "Oh, take the paste out of your mouth. Stop writing on YouTube. It's okay."
Yeah, at
you
that
pet
point,
my helmet all the time.
That's different. That's different. I'm sexually abusing you.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a YouTube comment, and you're being very kind to the morons who write things under some videos.
Yeah, I try to be nice to people, and I try to respond to people that want to interact with me, whether it's just a thanks for watching or taking the time to explain something. The reason why I explained about the characters of beer pong girls is because this person was so offended that we were portraying beer pong in a negative light, and that really wasn't the point. We weren't making fun
Not
of
at all.
anyone. We were kind of celebrating the community. It's a comedy, and comedy is based on exaggerated characters. We all know that in LA, but this person in Wisconsin or something saw it and was completely offended, which is completely not my intention at all. So yeah, I took the time to explain,
that would have been
just
caps lock, eat a dick, hashtag homofag, XO,
First.
ASCII penis first. Yeah, that's what that gets from me. Like, no. I thought it was very kind and very sweet, and that's why you're going to do very well on that platform, because you take the time to engage and appreciate that other people appreciated you, which was great. But now, what about train wreck celeb interviews? Have you had a celebrity that was notoriously difficult, or have you had one where you've botched it? Oh, who was the difficult celeb?
I've had a couple of interviews where the person involved may or may not have been under the influence.
Who do you have?
Oh my gosh!
Come on, out him. Fuck it.
What's it rhyme with?
I don't know if you guys would know this person.
Okay, who? Let's take a stab.
He's on Strike Back.
Strike
Sullivan
Back.
Stapleton.
But what's his deal? What's Sullivan Stapleton?
Yeah, it was at Comic-Con this past year, and I interviewed him for Crave
God,
Online.
He is a fucking dreamboat.
Oh, he's pretty cute.
God damn, I want to motorboat his chesticles.
So that's why you didn't come to my show.
Yeah.
Oh my god! But I interviewed him, and I feel like they had a press day, and maybe they had a lunch break that might have involved, a glass of wine or something.
Or 12.
But when I interviewed him, it was one of the strangest experiences I've ever had, but at the same time, one of the most rewarding experiences, because the interview was awesome.
Sure.
But it was just so funny to talk to him, because he was almost not there. Like, he was kind of in his own world, and when he would answer questions, he'd just kind of go on, and I'd have to decide when I was going to try to rein him in. I was like, but wait a second, this is kind of awesome. So what am I going to do here? But we actually just kind of had a good time, and I was like, let the editors decide what they want to keep and what they don't want to keep in this interview.
I'm going to let you chat. I'm going to let that Merlot breath wash over me, and then the editors we'll fix it in post. It'll be fine.
But I think it's important to create content that is fun to watch and that you have fun doing. And that interview is a perfect example. I had a great time interviewing him.
So you're a pop culture addict, self-professed.
Yes.
What should be on my radar right now, other than Orange is the New Black? Because, oh my God, is that not the series of all series?
I haven't even started watching that. It's amazing.
What?
I know. I'm behind on my TV because I
Get
do
the
so,
fuck out of here!
So much movie coverage.
Get out of here! No, so what should I be watching? What should I be paying attention to? What's out there?
You should see The World's End this weekend.
The World's End.
Yeah.
Is that the? Oh, that's the.
Edgar Wright,
yeah,
Simon Pegg.
yeah. Is that
Yeah.
good?
It's pretty funny, yeah.
Okay. I see the promos for it, and the promos tell me that I'm supposed to like it, which normally means I won't like it. But
It's got to be good.
I want it to be good. I love those guys. But yeah, The World's End. What is it? This Is the End was the comedy that was out or whatever.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen that one.
You haven't?
No, I've heard it's great.
Guys, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
You should see it.
All right, so World's End, we'll grab that one. We'll watch that one. All right. Anything TV or Netflixable that I can? Because I'm a shut-in.
You know what I like right now? But it's been out for a season, so you probably already have been watching it and loving it. But I'm obsessed with Nathan For You on Comedy Central.
Oh yeah,
You guys watch that?
Nathan For You is fantastic.
So funny.
Yeah, really, really funny.
Oh my gosh, I just downloaded it all and I'm like watching it again. I'm obsessed with that show.
What is it?
That's absolutely right. That's their production company. That's Tim and Eric.
Yeah, it's a show where Nathan Fielder goes out and basically is a guy that helps struggling businesses and tries to give them a new plan or a new vision or help them with a problem, but it always ends up resulting in a bigger problem, which is so funny.
Yeah, he'll convince like a business to run a promotion that is absolutely racist or sexist, or tell like this caricature artist to draw people in the most in the most racist of ways, or whatever, and it actually works. Like you think it would be ridiculous, and people would. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But in this case, people fucking loved it, and it totally helped him out.
I can't believe you haven't seen this, Redban.
Yeah.
You need to watch it immediately.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Nathan For You is phenomenal. I think it's Tim and Eric's company who did it.
Is it?
I think so. I think they're the producers of it. I could be totally wrong, but yeah, that's a fantastic recommendation. Great show for anybody who's not watching it.
Been loving that show, definitely.
I just downloaded or tried out that new app Crunchyroll. It's Apple TV just had an update recently where it's all like an anime. It's like Netflix but anime, and they have a free trial. And I just randomly, and they have a lot of stuff going there. I mean, I'm like middle of the road when it comes to anime. I like some good anime, but I just happened to choose this one show by random called Dogs and Scissors. And it is so ridiculous.
It sounds like a Japanese fetish.
It kind of is. It's about.
It sounds like lesbian bestiality. That's what comes to mind when I hear Dogs and Scissors.
It's exactly what you think.
What?
It's pretty much this dog guy that somehow got turned into a dog. I like went to the fourth episode because I was just like, what's this?
Right.
And it's about this dog that is like a man inside. And it's
Is that the dog? That's the man, the dog man?
Yeah. And then there's this woman. I don't know if it's his girlfriend yet. I only watched one episode, or his owner. But she constantly wants to chop off his balls, and he's just like saying like you're flat chested or whatever and blah blah, and it is insane. Not only is it like kind of like an adult comedy that looks like a kid's comedy,
right,
but it's just hilarious, and I highly recommend it. It's funny, it's fast, it's just insane.
Dogs and Scissors.
Yeah,
is that what
it's
right.
Dogs and Scissors, and it's just. And
he called her a flat-chested sadist.
Oh, no.
He's basically a YouTube commenter. He's just attacking her with YouTube comments.
Oh, but he's so cute.
And that's another thing. There's so many. It goes from like adorable
what
to
the fuck? They're having a crazy puppy anime battle.
Yeah,
with action lines streaming behind them, and she's threatening him with a pair of scissors right now.
Yeah, just to chop off his balls.
Does the dog actually get hurt? Because I don't know if I can handle it.
No, the dog doesn't get hurt, but it's ridiculous. I highly recommend it. Try out that channel if you like anime. I was very surprised at how much
Crunchyroll's
content.
killing it. They're putting a ton of stuff on there.
Yeah.
As long as it says no animals were harmed in this anime,
right,
I'm okay with it.
No animated animals, no stenciled beasts were harmed.
See a cartoon dog get stabbed.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'll definitely give that a whirl. I'll totally give that a whirl. I want to shout out something. I cried a lot last night.
Oh, no.
There were 3 reasons why. 1, devastating news of a personal friend. That's a bummer. 2, terrible Fukushima news. I don't know if you follow any of that madness. I tweeted it out. I saw that we were having a good time on the show, so I want to drive the comedy wagon right off the cliff and talk about depressing Fukushima shit. But there's a new water leak. A new water leak. 300 feet from the ocean, 300 tons of toxic water being spilt out right now. They just found it, and they upgraded it on a scale out of 7 categories. They upgraded it to a category 3, which might sound like, well, it's only in the middle of that scale. That's fine, except when you start off at 1, which is where it was, each level that you go up is 10 times worse.
Wow, it's like earthquake.
Yeah, so it's exponential. So 3 is, 100 times worse than the level 1 that it was at. And 4 through 7 are reserved only for accidents. So, for a traumatic event. So like Chernobyl or the actual Fukushima meltdown, those were both 7s. Those were both 7 events. This leak, because it wasn't triggered specifically by one big disaster or part of a big meltdown, it can't get worse than a 3. So it literally has the worst rating it could possibly have. And they tested the water from about 2 feet above the water, and the amount of radiation given off like in that moment was, I want to see here, it was... if you were near it for an hour, you'd be exposed to 5 times the annual recommended limit of a worker in a year. So if you worked at a plant that had radiation, your yearly dosage is what you'd be exposed to 5 times that in the first hour.
Wait, where is
being
this
2
at?
feet away from the water. In Japan. This was at the Fukushima plant.
Oh, I gotta get Coco out of there.
It's one of those stories that, it goes away because things pop up and whatever else, and I hate to be the guy that's always talking about it because it is a fucking bummer, but it's still happening. It's still terrible. It's exponentially worse than Chernobyl, so I don't want people to forget about it. Please read the story. Like, they're being lied to, and I know some people go like, oh my God, I feel helpless. There's nothing I can do, and I want to be that voice right now that says that's absolutely wrong. That's absurd. There is something you can do. There's something that each and every person that is hearing my voice, if you have access to the internet and maybe a couple bucks, there's something you can do right now, and that is buy some Pointless merchandise. Head on over to pointless.merchtable.com and pick up your Pointless television shirts. We've got Cyborg Jesus designs. We've got kisses, hugs, belly rubs. We've got Player versus Pain. What's that? I don't know. 12 of you hated that series. Buy the shirt. It's ironic. We have stickers that have a dolphin on them with an erection. All proceeds go to me entirely, and occasionally I raise awareness for this topic. So ipso facto, buy a fucking television shirt and save a child in Japan. It's that easy.
We should all rescue an Asian woman.
That's it. Do it through me. I go to enough parlors to keep them employed for ages. As long as there is moisturizer and people buying Pointless merch from pointless.merchtable.com, there will be smiling Asian women.
That's so funny you say that, because I was actually going to go to Japan this week.
I was actually going to a massage parlor tonight.
I was going to a massage parlor tonight. But I was actually going to go to Japan. Did you tweet this story?
I did last night, yeah. And it was. I literally was reading it in bed on my iPhone and tearing up.
Wow.
Wow.
It is, because Japan was my escape country. You have, I'm assuming you have Mexican citizenship, or you can get it maybe through your mother.
I don't think I can.
Oh, well then I'm sorry, you're fucked. When they close the borders, you're absolutely screwed. But I think everybody needs an escape country. They need the backup plan, the plan B when the shit hits the fan. And for me, that was Japan. I love their culture. I love everything about it. I love the fucking buildings. I want to go. I used to go every year. I went for like 6 straight years. And then this happened, and the sad reality of it is that it's just not safe. And people say, oh no, it's totally safe. They say that because TEPCO, their power company, and the government have been lying to people because they need the tourism dollars. And I get that. It shatters me. It really does hurt my soul. It's not fucking safe.
Did you hear the volcano? About the volcano also? Oh, I don't want to make you cry.
Uh-oh.
Is this don't fucking... Is this a Pacific Rim joke, or is this a
No,
a Godzilla joke?
The volcano that's like in southern Tokyo, I believe, has been erupting or something, but it's like covering the towns with ash.
With ash, and probably radioactive.
Radioactive,
ash
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Coco from Tokyo, she just posted this the other night, and I think she's running around wearing, I think everyone has to wear these like things on their, like masks now.
Yeah.
But she's still running around Tokyo Tower putting Death Squad stickers on the
Well, at least she's helping out the best way she can. At least she's doing the Lord's work. Listen, I'm sorry to bring a downer, but seriously, if there's one takeaway from this, it's pointless.merchtable.com. Head on over there, buy some t-shirts, support this fucking show. I spend tens of dollars each and every episode between gasoline and parking. I'm going to pay for your parking today. You're welcome. Did you pay to park?
No, I parked on the street.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boom! Tens of dollars is what I spend to bring you this entertainment. So buy a fucking t-shirt, pointless.merchtable.com. I also want to thank Merch Table for providing an amazing service. If you decide to sell merch of your own, I don't know if you have merch of your own or if you're investigating it, if you want to do a t-shirt, a hoodie, an iPhone case, a laptop bag, a messenger bag, which could also hold a laptop, it's dual purpose, a lunch pail with a fucking thermos. Go to Merch Table. They're amazing. They handle everything, fulfillment, shipping. They help you design your store. They are awesome.
And they make the shirts also,
They make
right?
the shirts themselves.
You
yeah.
need to get
all of
me
our
a-
shirts.
I
are
need
gonna
to talk to them.
You do. They're really great, and they do full screen printing now, multiple colors. The shirts that we're shipping out are awesome. We're doing some hoodies as well, so that's great. But the third reason that I cried last night was because of an indie game.
Oh man.
An indie game that is unlike any other game that I've ever played before. There are no enemies. There are no levels. There are no chapters or bad guys. There's no health bar. There's no spooky things popping out and yelling boo. There's barely an inventory and a map, and the game is called Gone Home. And in it, it's basically an exploration game. I don't know if you've seen the Oculus Rift. Have you seen this device?
I tried it at E3.
Oh, what'd you think? What'd you think?
Well, okay. Here's the thing. My.
Oh no, you're gonna burst my bubble. You're
Wait,
gonna
have you
pop
not
my hot air
tried
balloon.
it?
I still haven't put the goggles
Oh
on.
my gosh.
I know, my virgin eyes.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you a story that you'll appreciate
Okay.
because it's probably not what you're expecting. But yes, I tried it at E3, and basically the game that I tried is called Soundscape or
Yeah.
Sound Scene.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Sound
Okay.
Self. And what it is basically it's an acid trip in the Rift.
Yeah.
So you're just hanging out, and there's all these like swirls, and you make a sound with your voice. It's like
And
woo,
it generates geometry and
yeah. You're making tones with your voice.
I
It's-
downloaded that for the PC. You're supposed to like go,
Yes, it's a PC game, yeah.
and then you'll see a bunch of wavelengths and shit, right? Yeah.
and you put that, and it's all 3D and
What's-
crazy.
So
yeah.
why are we upset about that? Do we
No,
not
I'm
like
just
that?
saying because it's not the
It wasn't
typical
a game
that
game,
you'd play.
right.
Yeah, I really wanted to try.
How did you feel
playing
about
a
the
game.
actual like stereoscopic 3D effect? Did it feel like it was immersing you? Did you feel like it was flooding your vision or no?
I mean, to be honest, I did it on camera for a video for Crave, so it wasn't the experience that I mean, I would really, if I was gonna do it, I'd rather just kind of zone out and
Take a shit ton of ecstasy or do 3 or 4 bowls of indica and then
You know
sit
what's
down
so
and get
funny
it going.
is one of the developers told me that they're taking it to Burning Man.
Of course they are.
They're
Of
gonna
course they
build
are.
a whole thing for
That's
it. It's gonna be
awesome.
like a
Damn.
big
I'm
screen
gonna sell so many
of
copies
Sound
no.
Self.
to those broke
Activated
hippies.
by everyone making tones.
Yeah,
I felt ridiculous, especially knowing I was on camera. I was like, okay, this is going to be fun. So I put this thing on, knowing that the audience doesn't experience what I'm
Right.
experiencing. So I'm just like,
Wow.
And they're just seeing girl with goggles hums on YouTube, and it gets
Yeah.
4 million views. Congratulations.
so ridiculous. But yeah, so it was a weird experience, but it wasn't what I was expecting because I wanted to play a game.
Right. Well, and that's totally valid. The reason I brought up the Oculus Rift is that, you know, some developers asked at a panel like not too long ago. I watched a video of it. And they were like, "Well, how do we make a gem matching game like Bejeweled for the Oculus Rift?" And they're like, "Well, first you'd have to build a room. Like you'd have to create, let's say, like a library, bookshelves and some chairs and some ladders and whatever else, and then maybe you put like a little lounge, like a little sofa and a nice ornate wooden table with a board on it, right? Then you, as the character, could walk up in this 3D environment to sit down in the chair to look at the board, and then on that board would be your gem matching game, your Bejeweled, where you could slide one gem over and then they disappear. At that point, though, who the fuck cares about the thing that's on the table in the 3D world? Who cares about the gem game? You have this amazing, vibrant 3D world to explore. Mm-hmm. And Gone Home, to me, is the first time I've played a game that takes that concept and it sort of makes a game out of it. So in Gone Home, and it's hard to talk about without spoiling the story because it's all about the story and the exploration. But as you watch some of this gameplay here, you arrive at an abandoned house, your old home. There's a thunderous, crashing lightning storm behind you, rain smattering down. It's all mixed nice, a little ominous soundtrack. And you go through a house, and every object you can pick up, you can rotate, you can look at, you can open drawers, you can find notes, and you piece together the story of the relationship between the mother and the father, between the daughter, between what's happening with their... spoiler, earmuffs. If you don't want to have some of it spoiled, it's okay. It's still worth explaining, but potentially their troublesome relationship, their difficulty connecting with the daughter who has an interesting thing going on, the backstory of the house, which may or may not have some spooky hauntings going on or whatever else. But as you're seeing, you just go around and you explore. You find letters. You find a condom in the drawer. You find music, cassette tapes that you can pop into a player, which adds to the atmosphere. But this is the entire game. That's awesome. And of all the games I've played recently, of the crazy AAA billion-dollar experiences, last night there was a revelation in this game. It's only a few hours long as I was exploring through the house at my own pace, opening up things, turning on TVs, running faucets, whatever, there was a revelation that made me cry. Like I started to get misty because of a thing that was happening with the relationships of the characters, and I was blown away because to me this is like Oasis version .01. You know, from Ready Player One, the book you recommended it. Seth Green recommended it. I don't know if you've read it. It's the Ready Player One it has this thing in it called the Oasis, and it's basically this near future Second Life where everybody jacks in. They use the 3D goggles, haptic feedback, and they rummage around through worlds. And one of the things they describe is being able to go to like somebody's house like this, and this was a perfectly modeled house from straight out of 1995. The magazine covers, the Kurt Cobain, obituary, the newspaper clippings, the bands, everything feels like you are visiting this house straight out of 1995. And it feels like you walked by this house on the street and got permission to go rummage around somebody's life. And it's not going to be for everybody. Some people are like, this is the fucking stupidest thing I've ever played. There's no game here, whatever else. For me, I was pleasantly surprised at the fact that I cared to go around this world, to inspect items, to find the little secret passageways and hidden things, and that I was so moved by the narrative of these female lead characters, which you'll find, that I started to cry at the end of it. I could not believe it. Wow. Couldn't believe it. So, not to rant long-windedly, but that's what I do best. Gone Home. It's like $10. It's on Steam, PC, Mac, Linux versions available. Wow. To me, that is the kind of game that when you give me the Oculus Rift and a little glove or a Kinect device that lets me move around and manipulate shit, this is going to be it.
Yeah, like we need some Myst in that Oct.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Bring back Myst in 3D. Give me the Seventh Guest.
Yeah.
With an Oculus. Let me go around Stoff's haunted mansion and solve puzzles. I love that shit.
Yes, me too, man. I like that exploration. But of course, I also like to look through binoculars in girls' windows, so for the same reason. So.
The Japanese will develop a game for you.
They already did.
They absolutely have. There's so many of them. Speaking of guys looking through windows with binoculars, you mentioned that dating in LA is part of your stand-up routine. Have you been successful in dating in LA? Is there a Mr. Darling? Is there a Darling on deck? Do you not talk about it? Could that harm the career? Is there a Mr. X? I want to know everything.
And Mrs.
Oh my
X.
gosh.
Has there been a Mrs. Darling? Has there been a Mrs. X?
Darling.
Has there been a Dog and Scissors?
No,
No,
there has
never.
not.
Not even you went to college.
I know.
You did the journalism thing. How about an investigative report on your desires? It's experimentation. We've all been there.
Bang Prius.
I experimented with a woman once in college.
Once?
I'm not ashamed of it.
Where'd you go to college?
I didn't go to college.
Oh.
and I've never fucked a chick, so I lied on 2 accounts. I'm as gay as an arrow. So, but I don't. I own it. I like it. I'm
Kiss
okay
my
with that.
helmet.
Come here. Let me rub that. Let me rub that igloo. So no college experimentation?
No.
You're not even with any pageant queens? I want to believe that they get together and like have sash parties.
No.
No?
Not really.
They call them sashers?
I just hung out with dudes. And
dudes plural. All right, now we're getting somewhere.
Oh
Now we're breaking news.
Oh my God.
What's the record? What's the cutoff?
What's the cutoff?
Yeah.
In college?
Yeah.
Actually, in college, now that I think about it,
Were you very tame? Were you
I had a lot of boyfriends. Mm-hmm. So I was
at the same time kind of thing? Like, hey, 12 boyfriends, let's go to the Motel 6. I've got a bottle of Boone's Farm and a lot of Astroglide.
Oh my gosh.
No,
I was in one relationship and then I was single for a little bit, then I was in another one, and then I was in another one. So I kind of was taken for the majority of college.
Was single Erin, though? Was that the woo, saddle rack, mechanical bulls, body shots? Was it crazy? Or were you constantly looking for the next relationship?
I wasn't looking for relationships all the time, but I feel like I would always find myself in them. And when I wasn't, I was just kind of busy doing my own thing and having fun.
Sure. So how do you date in LA? Is it Tinder? Are you on OkCupid? Do you go for friends of friends? Do you talk to the girl at Nordstrom and find out what dinner she's going to and try to seduce the Arabian millionaire? Yeah, how does that work?
Positive singles.
I feel like I don't know. I've been really, really lucky, I guess, in terms of dating. Like, I've never really had a problem meeting people for the most part.
I couldn't imagine why that is. like, you're an attractive blonde woman. I don't imagine it's hard for you to meet people. What about quality people, though? Like, as I'm sure you get approached left and right by people screaming out of their Audis. Hey, mama! What's going on, mami? They sense that half Latin vibe in you.
Oh my
and start
gosh.
screaming, no?
Yeah, I mean, you have to weed the weird ones out.
Sure.
You know, it takes a while sometimes to find out who they are. But no, I was dating someone for about a year. Actually, not dating. We were like in a relationship, an actual relationship.
But he was an asshole. You
And-
should have left him. You could do way better. Fuck him. He's a piece of shit. He was a
was-
piece of shit. Are we still friends? Are we friends with him?
We're friends.
He's fine. He's a nice guy. He's a good guy. It's okay to be friends with him.
It took a while for me to get there. But you know what's so funny is I feel like some people's response to a breakup is like they treat it almost like eating a bad hamburger. It's like, oh, like it hurts one night, and then the next day they're like, oh, I'm fine. Like, who can I talk to now? I'm so not that way. It took me like a month or 2 months to like get back to normalness and
Really?
to feel okay. Yeah.
Was your morning process, was it, gallons of ice cream and crying, or did you wrap yourself in saran wrap and then hit the 24-hour fitness and just go
No.
nuts? Or what was it? Was it an introversion thing? Do you retreat to your friends?
Yeah, I was kind of hanging out with my friends.
Yeah.
I didn't do the ice cream thing. I actually just kind of wasn't eating at all. Just
Aw.
kind of, just
So hot. Terrible. So terrible. So
just kind of
terrible.
wanted to feel like my normal self.
Sure.
So
then 2 months later, and then so you just go. I'm curious though, like back at it when you decide, all right, I'm open to it. Does it just have to happen naturally to you, or do you put out the feelers? Do you change a Facebook status and let the friends know?
I mean, the next.
What should we be looking out for?
I know, right?
What
Well,
should I be looking out for? What should the internet be looking out for? Brian, stop looking at her like that. You're fucking weirding me out. It's disgusting. It's unprofessional.
Oh my gosh. No, it was actually really unexpected. I started dating actually my best guy friend.
Oh, he was in the friend zone?
Yeah,
He made the transition?
Wow.
He did. I put him in the friend
Well,
zone
can
for
we-
4
He did it.
years.
Can we be
Whoa.
honest
4
that
years.
all guy friends are going to make it to the friend zone?
All guys by default are in the friend zone, but they're
Yeah.
all on deck. No matter how much they say, I just want to be your friend, they've got the donut around their penis and they're wagging it like a baseball player with a rubber ring, and they're just waiting for their chance to get called to the mound.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Take me out of the box so I can get in the box. That's every
Oh my
guy
gosh.
is on deck. No matter how sweet they are, no matter how many Bibles they pray with at night, they are all on deck. So, but kudos to this guy. 4 years.
Yeah, 4
4
years of
years
friend
you made him
zone.
suffer for it. He had to take you to movies and let you cry on his shoulder.
Yeah,
and
and hear about the other guy I was with.
oh my God. And then go home and be like, I bet he had fun. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is so sad. We've all been there.
Yes.
We've all been there.
Friend
so
zoned?
so is he current Mr. Darling, this 4-year friend zone?
Yeah, we're seeing
We're
how
seeing.
things go.
Oh, he made the transition. Good for him. How did you
Yeah.
break it to him?
How did I break it
Yeah,
to
did
him?
he know, like, hey, you're out of the friend zone, let's go, tonight's the night? Or did he have to make the move and wonder?
Actually, when I broke up with the guy I was seeing,
That piece of shit.
he
I'm so
didn't-
glad you left him. He was terrible.
Oh
He was
my
terrible.
gosh.
No direction. What a fucking filthy animal. That chain wallet and that greasy hair. What a fucking asshole.
I'm glad that you're Team Aaron in this one.
I'm entirely
Yeah,
Team Aaron.
I'm
Who was it?
glad.
Fuck that guy. Skylar? What was his name?
Skylar.
What was his name? Chet? What was his name? Brandon with
Oh my
an
gosh,
O-N?
I'm not-
Brandon? Was he
Oh,
Was he a
wow.
Brandon? What, am I close? What was his name?
I'm not
Brendan?
gonna say what his name
Brent?
is, but
What was his name?
it starts with a J.
A J.
Jason.
It's got to be a Jason or a
Wow.
Jackson.
Jonathan.
Not a Jeremy.
Jonathan
It wasn't
Taylor
a Jeremy.
Thomas.
Oh, I love JT. Don't you dare, you asshole. He's second only to Devin Sawa, and that's not a conversation I'm willing to have right now. Casper. Oh my God.
Oh, you're
So
right.
you leave that asshole. You leave fucking.
And like the best friend guy actually we weren't really talking that period of time because he was kind of seeing someone else at that point in
Sure.
time, and I don't think that she liked me, it was one of those weird things where it was kind of like, all
Well,
right.
clearly she didn't like you. He was on deck with you for 4 years.
Yeah.
She could sense
Smart.
that.
She gets
Women could sense that shit.
Yeah, so our friendship wasn't really like we weren't close. We weren't in contact. He really didn't know what was going on in my life.
Right.
I kind of didn't really know what was going on in his either. And so it took about 2 months till we kind of started talking again as friends. And I told him what had happened, and he was just like, I've always been in love with you.
Oh, he put it out there.
Yeah.
Notebook style.
He just put it out there. He's just like,
I built a house for you by the river.
kind of.
Come
like,
retreat with me.
but it was really sweet, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then we just kind of started seeing where things went.
What's his deal? Is he, literally or figuratively?
Both.
Okay, good. Does this star block fit in this square? I'm going to jam it in there till it does. I get it. It's like a kid with a Fisher-Price toy. That's how I have sex. I just keep mashing it until she stops
Does it
crying.
work?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we tip out and we leave, and that's it. So he made the transition. That's fantastic. What's his deal? Is he in the industry?
Yeah, I mean, he does what I do, actually.
Oh, you got a talent relationship.
Yeah.
Is he a host?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
Oh, is he with you on your YouTube channel? Is that the guy that I see every now and then?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He popped up in one of the videos, and I was like, I bet they're
He
fucking.
was my
I'm not
Matt
gonna lie.
Damon. Are you
serious?
serious?
I swear to God, there was a video. He's got black hair, like dark hair. Yeah. He popped up. He's attractive, by the way. He looks sweet. I don't know if he is or not.
very
He looks
sweet.
fucking sweet. But when he popped up, there was an interaction between you two. The Matt Damon thing, when he was pretending to push his cleavage together or whatever. And I'm like, oh, they're so fucking. And I'm be honest with you, that was the thing that popped into my head. And I was like, what an asshole I am, because people used to think that about me, and every woman I co-hosted with on Attack of the Show right away. It's like, dude, I bet you put it in. And granted, yes, 9 out of 10 I was. But like, fuck you for being like default thinking that. Like, oh, we had chemistry or we were good on camera together, so we must be having sex. But I totally thought that when he popped on. So
my God.
Congrats.
Yeah, well, we've known each other for years, and we've worked together. We actually met through a working situation. Yeah, I was hosting this show. Actually, it's a funny story because...
There he is. There he is.
Joshua.
Hey, Joshua. Wait, the last one was a J, too? You went from one J to another J?
Yeah.
Wow,
I went
okay.
from J to J.
Darren.
Actually, Joshua, hi. I think he's watching this.
Hey,
right
Joshua.
now.
Joshua, dude, seriously?
Good job, Josh.
Just fucking congratulate. I mean, I know what that's like to be on deck. Like, that is not a fun place to be. You stuck it out. You saw the vision, and you fucking wandered right into the horizon, and kudos to you, good sir. I want to meet Joshua. I want to have him on here. So you guys started working together.
Yeah, actually, when we met was I was hosting the show at the stream.tv, the old
Love
stream.
the stream, yeah. Brian Gramo,
Yeah,
good
I love
people
Brian.
there. Great
yeah,
people.
actually, the reason why we met is because of Brian, because he was, I think, a PA for a whole bunch of shows, and it was my show, and then right after me was Chris Gore's show. I met him. I met Joshua on the same day I met Chris Gore.
Wait a second. I think when I met you...
I know.
Wait,
That's another story.
What?
Oh my God.
I just got a text that Joshua is in the chat room for the show, so now I got to hop in the chat room. Joshua, if you have Skype, you got to call us up.
Yeah.
So I want to ask about being on deck. Can we get Joshua on Skype?
Joshua.
How does that work? He's got Skype, right? He's got a thing.
Yeah, but he's also at work right now.
Maybe
he can Skype in.
He can Skype in. What's he do? What's Joshua do for? What's his work?
He works for. Actually, we collaborate a lot. He works for Smosh Games, so
he can fucking Skype in.
Yeah.
Come on, Joshua, fire up that Skype. I got to hear about the on deck. Like, did you know from day one you were willing to warm up or not? Like, I got to ask about that. So I'm sorry. So what's this Chris Gore thing? That sounds juicy.
So Redban knows half of this story. This is where it gets real interesting. So anyway, should I continue the story? Okay, yeah, let me continue the story of how we met. So basically, Joshua is there and he's like, "Hi, this is Erin," and then Chris Gore comes in and he's like, "Hi," and Chris he says hello to me. And he looks, basically we're not making eye contact. And he says...
Wait, are you trying to make eye contact with him? And he's just
he's not.
He's averting his gaze because he's looking at other parts?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
He says, "I like your dress that you're wearing." And I'm like, it's a shirt or something. I don't know. It was like this really weird moment where I was like, oh my gosh, he's totally looking at my boobs right now.
Yeah.
And I remember that more than anything. Like, I don't actually remember meeting Joshua that day. He had to tell me that was the same day.
He got upstaged by the perversion
of
Chris Gore.
I got Chris Gored. I was like so distraught by this whole thing. This is like 2009. I'm like 21 or something, and I'm just like, I'm like, what's he
getting gored that's like getting punked, except with old semen and jeans. That's what it is. Like, you got gored, and just ruined his Levi's. That's all it is.
Chris Gore, celebrities poop.
Oh my God, Chris! He was just in here. He just sat in that seat, and now he's going to want to come back just so he can re-sit in that seat,
or to smell the seat.
Yeah, exactly. He'll just jam his face right in it. I'm so sorry about that. So Joshua got upstaged by an old man's erection. I love it.
Yeah, I think he kind of did.
I love that Chris did that. Because Chris is one of my favorite people in this world. I can also see him completely disrespecting you in that moment, being like, "Yeah, I like that dress. I'd love to see what's going on in here."
Oh my gosh! And then fast forward a couple of years, and we're back in this room. Actually, Chris Gore and I started re-talking again on Twitter. We check in with each other every now and then, but I kind of hadn't seen him since that one day at the stream. And then we were talking on Twitter, and I didn't know he did stand-up, and I was doing stand-up. This is in October, and we're just kind of talking, and I'm like, well, should we catch up? Like, should we meet up or something? And he's like, yeah. So
You opened the floodgates?
Yes.
Whoa. You know that was Pandora's box.
I didn't know that.
What are you letting those demons fly? You met him.
Wait, she's a squirt.
You met him. That is like, oh, there's a Ouija board in the middle of this haunted cemetery. Oh, well, let's see what it fucking spells. Let's light some candles and draw a pentagram in chicken blood. So, all right, so you say, hey, Chris, let's meet up.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, yeah, let's catch up. I haven't seen him in years and years and years. What is he up to?
Yeah.
So we're
He's like,
talking.
I know a great spot. It's a dumpster behind an AM
I
PM.
know.
There's no lights. Come on out.
Better.
He invites me over to this bar in Pasadena, and I'm like, okay, that's random and kind of far, but whatever, I'll drive out there. And so I meet up with him, and we're talking, and I'm a little bit late because I got lost. I'm not really familiar with this area, and I made some crucial mistakes that kind of resulted in me being 30 minutes late. And I was like, I'm so sorry. So we're kind of talking for like 30 minutes, and then he's like, you know what? I'm so sorry, but I have to go do a podcast right now. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's totally cool. Go do your thing. Then he says, well, do you just want to come with me? And I'm like, yeah, why not? So we come here to do the Naughty Show, Sam Tripoli, and this happens. This whole craziness happens.
And there was something
right
that
here.
Chris Gore was really angry about.
And
was he
Chris
angry about?
Gore basically says that
Has a
we're on
meltdown.
a first date.
Yeah.
Sam's like, how do you guys know each other? And he's like, well, we're actually kind of on a date right now. And I'm like, oh, are we on a date? I wasn't sure. Okay.
Did you went with it?
Yeah, I played along. I mean, we're both entertainers, so I'm like, whatever, sure. Yeah,
Yeah, but
we're
you're
on
also a
date.
human being. You've
But
gone
I
on a date
did-
with Chris Gore.
I know. And at some point I
Get
did say,
tested.
you know what, I wasn't really sure if this was a date, but okay. But anyway, it was kind of like the whole podcast ended up being about an hour on a date. They're like,
Right,
how's
you're
it
speed
going?
dating. How's
so
it
how'd
going?
you guys
Yeah.
meet? How'd this get started? How'd you guys end up here? Did he just ask you to come to the podcast, or was this a surprise? And I'm like, I was totally ambushed. I have no idea what I'm here.
Meanwhile, poor Joshua's tying a belt around his
know.
neck and hanging in a closet. He's like, fuck this. And Chris Gore? I listened to the other Jay guy, but not Chris Gore.
Oh my gosh. So it was kind of like one of those really, really random nights. I was like, wow.
Oh my God.
And then I started to wonder, how many dates have I been on that I didn't know
No,
were
you're
You
on
might
a
dates?
as oh my God. You can't be with a woman after she's been with Chris Gore. You can't. You might as well fuck seawater straight out of Fukushima.
And check
You
how-
might as well stick your dick in
Oh
an
my
aquarium of
gosh.
Japanese seawater. I'm sorry.
Well, I didn't do that didn't happen.
No, I'm kidding.
I just need to clear that
No,
up.
you can never clear it up. You never can. Once you've been gored, you're
Once
gored
you've
for
been
life.
gored.
Check out how mad he was at this episode. Too.
Look at that.
my gosh.
Eating hot dogs at 2 a.m. It's going to be a great show.
Oh, is this? I think I saw a piece of this. He was just mad in general, though, right?
Yeah,
Like,
he was mad at a podcast that copied his
Yeah.
idea because he has this
Yeah.
idea where he crashes a podcast
Yeah,
and somebody
yeah.
like was doing the exact same thing. Then
I
that,
love it.
yeah, whatever.
Can we arrange a blind date kind of podcast or like a next podcast
Yes.
with you and Chris and Joshua?
Okay.
And you guys, they'll just rotate in and out throughout the date.
The reunion.
Yeah, and we'll
Okay.
film it. I mean, like seriously, there'd be go karting, 100 cal froyo, and then like a tandem bicycle. But at some point, Joshua has to get off, and Chris gets to get on and ride with you. Like I want to do. It's going to be a weird double date, and at the end of the night, you have to choose which one to give the rose to or something. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out the mechanic. Can we make that happen?
Let's do it.
All right. I love
Let's
it.
just get
I love
real.
it. So
real
good. Well,
weird.
congrats to you and Joshua. That's awesome that it was 4 years in the making and now it's here. And I swear to God, I said it rather crassly. That's what I do. But I really saw the moment he leapt on. I saw that thing between you guys, which I thought was
Magic.
fantastic. Like that's nice that you have that.
Like you and Olivia.
yeah, oh, totally.
Did you see this? Speaking of Olivia,
Yeah, someone sent me this. Yeah, this
What,
is
what is this?
Olivia on like some sort of rope swing, and then she dislocates her shoulder.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah,
Scary.
she went crashing to the ground.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, they just don't have the regulations in Japan.
Is that where she was? Oh, I
I don't know.
was about to say. Actually, I had a moment where I could have injured Olivia.
What?
Yeah, Comic-Con. I felt
Why didn't
so
you
bad
take the
about
opportunity
this.
for all of us?
No, it's so funny because yesterday I was interviewing Edgar Wright, Simon Pegg, and Nick Frost for The World's End.
Sure.
And I was asking them questions because the whole movie is about drinking and this whole crazy night of drinking that
Yeah.
goes terribly wrong, like worst case scenario. So I asked them if there was a night in their 20s that they would want to relive if they could. And they all answered the question. I thought about this after. And I was like, well, what was my night? And I'm like, man, I think it was that one night at Comic-Con when I almost punched Olivia Munn. by accident. And you know why? Because I didn't even know that it happened. It was at Nerd HQ, and it was this night of craziness. And I think
when was this? Was this last year or this year?
This year.
Oh, this year.
And
Okay.
I don't even know what happened because I was facing the other direction, but I was aggressively dancing. I was doing like a weird backwards windmill dance move. You know how it gets at
You
Nerd
should
HQ.
never be doing that, but I got it.
I know. I don't know what exactly was happening because I guess
Was 2 Chainz cutting yams? It happens when he cuts those yams. So you got the reverse
Like,
white
I didn't
girl
see him.
windmill.
Yeah, I did some sort of weird thing with my arm that was moving backwards and I couldn't see it. And I didn't even know this till the next day, but I guess Olivia Munn and Joel Kinnaman were right behind me and I almost punched her in the face. And my friend that was facing me and saw this whole thing happen was like, whoa, oh my gosh. And the next day was like, so how about that time that you almost punched Olivia Munn? I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, you were doing this weird dance move and you almost like you swung your arm back and Joel was like putting his arm around her to protect her. And I'm like, oh my God, did I piss off RoboCop? What did I do? And I felt
Then you
so...
kicked a baby?
And the worst part about it is, I mean, he could technically be making this whole thing up because I didn't see any of this.
Right.
I was facing the other direction, but I believed it. And I believed that he would not lie to me because that's so mean because I really, really love Olivia Munn. Well, I don't know her, but no, I like really look up to her. I think she's awesome. And I think that's so terrible that I almost accidentally hit her.
Well, the crisis was averted. It's okay. You can
No,
let
it
that
totally
guilt go.
was.
It's totally fine.
Oh man.
Did she notice it? Like, did somebody say that she had the face like the? Oh!
Yes, he said that she like moved back and made a face, and that Joel was like, "I'll protect you," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, are you serious?" No, like if I could relive any night, it might be that. So I maybe would have done a different dance move, like a forward.
Yeah, just eliminate any variations of that. No matter what direction those arms swing, just eliminate every version of that.
That's why I stay with the
sorry.
Roger Rabbit. That's the only
Yeah,
dance.
you got
I
it.
do.
It's the only one that's approved. It's the only one.
I know.
You, this was your first Comic-Con? Is that
It was
correct?
my first Comic-Con. Yeah.
Wow, what'd you think?
I had a great time. I can't
Yeah?
wait for next year. Next year's
know.
going to be insane. So much fun.
It's so noisy. There's so many people.
It is
It's
noisy.
so crazy. What? I really am. I have to shake my crotchety cane at the front lawn of the Comic-Con. Yeah, you kids and your noise levels.
It's all about the parties around it.
Yeah,
Really, I mean.
yeah, no, it is.
But there's so many new Comic Cons that are like so much smaller nowadays.
many
That's
more,
way
yeah.
better, I
Yeah.
think, supposedly.
Yeah.
Like
what did you do?
WonderCon?
Did you
WonderCon, yeah.
did you wander the halls and look for collectibles, or were you mostly focused on the parties and the celeb interviews? And...
Yeah, I was hosting, so
Okay.
I did a lot of features. I did a lot of interviews. I did some panels and things like that. So it was really, really fun. And then I, of course, did my fair share of going out and experiencing
and
all of
almost
that.
sucker punching
Oh my
celebrities with your white girl
gosh,
dance
I
moves.
know. Actually, can I apologize, Olivia, if you're watching?
She's not.
I
She's
am
not.
so sorry.
There's no fucking way she is. It's fine.
Okay.
There's no way.
But I still wanted to apologize.
No, as you should throw it out there. You should throw it out there. It's-
Yeah, just put it out in the universe, you know.
And if she's
But-
watching, please call me.
Yeah, Brian, you've been on deck for 4 years for Miss Munn.
For Miss Munn.
You need to do that. You need to get in there. All right, let's get to the highlight of this podcast. We're gonna throw a saddle on the promo pony and ride it until it keels over. So you tell me. What should people do? Obviously, Erin A. Darling on the Twitter sphere. They can find you there. But where else should they check you out?
Well, my YouTube is Erin Ashley D, and that's where I'm creating new content. I'm releasing stuff every Friday. That's basically the pop fix, so it's all pop culture oriented. A lot of movie reviews and some random things like top 5 best songs to listen to when you're drunk. That's going to come out pretty soon, I think.
Give us a teaser. What's a good song to listen to while you're drunk?
Well, what I did was I broke it up into categories, types of songs, and then
Okay.
within those categories are certain songs, of course. But one of them is, okay, so why is it that when you're drunk, you like to listen to songs that tell you what to do? Because when I'm sober, I don't want anyone telling me how to dance. I'm going to do my white girl windmill backwards and, like hurt somebody. I don't know. But when you're drunk, you just want to hear the, like, step to side, slide to the left,
Right.
slide to the right. Like, why?
$100 bill? I'll put my hands up.
Right?
Okay, yeah. Tell me what
when
else. A
Engine
$50
Number
bill?
9
Okay.
Yes, people just love it.
Yeah. Take your shirt off, spin it around your head like a helicopter.
Exactly.
Okay, Petey Pablo.
It's like you listen to it and you do it, and
Yeah.
that's a category of song. I'm like, why?
I like that. That's an interesting observation. It's true. If I were walking down the street and Petey Pablo were coming down the street, I'd probably cross to the other side. If I were
Right.
drunk, I would take my shirt off and spin it like a helicopter.
Yeah, you
so
would.
that makes total sense. Are you an alcoholic? I'm just going to ask because a lot of the comedy and so far, and a lot of what I'm hearing, a lot of the college nights and everything else revolves around
Oh my gosh.
Patron, or what is your beverage of choice? Is it Jaeger? What are you doing?
Jaeger.
What is it?
Oh, that's an insult.
Is it an insult? I'm sorry. Is it cerveza?
It's red
Are you
wine.
Tecate?
I'm kind of a wine drinker these days. I like
Okay,
whiskey a
that's
lot
good.
as well, some bourbon. But I mean, I feel like when you're in your 20s, a lot of events that you go to revolve
It's
around
all
drinking.
about drinking. Fuck yeah.
You're getting drinks. You drink when you're happy. You drink when you have a bad day.
Right.
You and your girlfriends do it. You're on a date. You're drinking. It's just so much alcohol. It's just infused into your 20s in general. So yeah, I guess
And you've transitioned now, though, to the whiskeys and the wines?
yeah, I'm trying to chill these days and not really get too involved in a lot of drinking because it just.
So it's mostly pills and weed, then? I mean, how do you blow it up? What are your vices? How do you blow off the steam?
Honestly, a glass of red wine at the end of the day.
If that does it for you, that's
perfect.
awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it does. Running, going to the gym. I know, it's
You're
boring.
such a better person than I will ever be. Like,
Completely boring.
yeah, no, that's fantastic that you found your out. I hate myself too much, and I have to bury my insecurities underneath some sort of substance. So whether it's keyboard duster or, crack rock, I don't care what it is. It's got to be something. Today it's coconut water, but tomorrow it's Grey Goose. So it'll be
Ew.
something. But I love that. All right, so people should check out your YouTube. Should
Yeah.
follow you on the Twitter sphere.
And then I do AMC movie news, so you guys should subscribe to that on YouTube. And,
Have you seen Kick-Ass 2 yet?
Yeah, I did.
How was it?
I liked it, but not as much as the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
Is Jim Carrey good in it?
Jim Carrey is really good.
Okay.
But this movie overall as a whole, I felt was a lot darker than the first one, and it lost a lot of the comedic charm that I felt existed in the first one. That
Right.
made me fall in love with it. Not only that, but the characters have grown up a little bit, especially Hit Girl, and I love Hit Girl as a 9-year-old. Gotta
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, 9-year-old dropping a C-bomb, funny.
Right,
14-year-old dropping a C-bomb, kind of cunty. Right?
It's like her high school attitude years, and there's this whole Mean Girl storyline, which I actually liked.
Right.
But
Wait, is there a countdown clock for that girl to become legal? Is there one
There's
yet? Because I know
gotta
there was
be.
for Hermione. I was watching
There
that for a
must
while.
be.
That was my active desktop for a while, but there's got to be.
But she's great. I love her.
I think
can't-
she's fantastic,
I can't wait
but
to
I-
see her and Carrie.
Right.
And
But I get what you're saying, though. That's interesting. Like, Hit Girl was great as a 9-year-old. Like, does that character still
Yeah.
translate as well
And I
when
love
she's
seeing,
older?
I love seeing those characters like Kick-Ass and Red Mist become those characters.
Right.
And I thought that was so funny. There was so much humor in it.
Mm-hmm.
And this one still has comedic elements, but overall it's a completely different tone.
What about Christopher Mintz-Plasse as the main baddie, the big baddie? Does McLovin pull it off?
Yes, I really,
He does?
really loved him in that role.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think he kills it in this movie, and he's so talented and super funny all the time. So I loved seeing him in this movie. But overall, I gotta say, I love the first one a little bit more. But that doesn't mean that the second one is bad. It is still good, and I still think people
Just
should
not
go
as good
see
as the
it.
first, probably.
Yeah.
All right. What else? What else you got? Because that's a great question. I mean, I don't know what I should have on my list.
Let's see. You've seen Elysium. Didn't
I
like
have.
that.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that.
What else?
I got a good documentary to watch.
What do you got?
Sunset Strip on Showtime On Demand. It's a documentary all about the Sunset Strip, from the history of it, from when like the early 1900s when it was just fields, all the way to like the mafia.
It's on Netflix?
It's on it's on. It might be on Netflix, but it's on Showtime On Demand.
okay.
And it is. It was amazing watching that. That was a very well filmed documentary, and the people that were in it. I mean, like everybody was in it, like Johnny Depp, like everybody, and it had a lot of interesting turns, like how Led Zeppelin were just a bunch of dicks back in the days, and I went through like the music part of it also. But highly recommend that.
Okay. I'm on board for that.
Have you guys seen the To-Do List?
No, I haven't.
No. What is that?
That's good.
is
That's
that?
my sleeper comedy of the summer. I really, really want this movie to blow
I added
up.
it. I'm adding it. It's there. It's on the list.
Yeah, it's Aubrey Plaza's in it. Bill Hader's wife wrote it.
Wait.
Maggie Carey, and it's about this girl who's transitioning from high school to college and wants to lose her virginity.
Oh, that's the one that she had written on her chest at the AMA
Yes.
or the VMAs or whatever that
Uh-huh.
was, where she crashed the Will Ferrell speech drunkenly,
Yeah.
right? Okay, yeah.
That movie is really funny.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay. I'm
really
on board.
surprised me. I liked it a lot. I think
right.
it's kind of like a throwback to the sex comedies of the 80s.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that in theaters now? It's kind of thing, or is it you can VOD it, download? Do you know?
I believe it's in theaters still, but it's a limited release. It's not everywhere.
So torrent. Got it. Got it. I'm on that. I can do that. I can make that happen. I'm trying to think if there's anything recently that I've seen. There was a bunch of movies that I saw. Like,
Did you guys like Man of Steel?
I fucking thought it was some of the best action I'd ever seen directed. I thought it was beautiful and amazing. I just didn't. It was so dark and moody and blah. I'm like, I wish I would have had more fun with you, movie. Like, I wanted to have fun. Zach directed some incredible fight scenes. Like, clearly everything was storyboarded to the T. He knew exactly where every character was going to... Like, I think Michael Bay shakes a camera at a green screen and then goes to Taiwan and goes, fucking figure it out.
Yeah.
That's how I believe he directs his action. There'll be a robot there in a building. I don't know. Figure it out, Koreans. Whereas you could tell Zach, I think he storyboarded every aspect, but it was just, I don't know, it was so serious than plotting that I was just like, I don't know.
Hard for you to connect with.
Kinda, yeah. I don't know. What were
Coming
your
from
thoughts?
the guy that cried over the video game.
You're damn right. Yes. Yeah, they're coming from the guy that cries at his iPhones.
Brooding
No,
Superman.
you can get me emotional and brooding and stuff. I want the other side of it as well, I guess. I don't know. I also, like, I didn't sit there and overanalyze why I liked it or didn't like it. I just know, like, my visceral reaction to it was, okay.
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was really, really good. And it was kind of an origin story, a Kal-El origin story, which I love. I'm a sucker for movies like that. And I thought Henry Cavill did a great job. I feel like the critics are very polarized on this one, too. Which one is that Superman? Yeah.
No, really? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Got it.
That's Superman. I love Kevin Costner. How good was he?
He was good.
Wow.
Kevin Costner was great in it.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed him in it.
That broke my heart. I hate to see characters that I like, spoiler, die.
Yeah. Yeah. But you didn't mind Matt Damon losing it on Elysium, did you?
He didn't die.
What?
Hey, la, la,
Well,
la.
I guess,
Matt Damon dies at the end of
You're right.
Elysium.
You're right. At the very, very end of
Fucking
it.
watch it and know that, and it's not going to affect the outcome. You're not gonna be like, I would have really loved that unless I would have known he wasn't gonna. If you can't figure out one of the main characters is gonna die in that film, grab your helmet and watch something else.
Hey.
Like, go back to Dora the Explorer. I'm sorry. Okay, I don't really feel that way about Elysium. I don't care. Does he die? Does he not die? Is that a thing? I think he dies.
Yeah, he does.
Were you just trying to save the spoiler for everybody out there? Or no?
I was like, wait a second. He does. But I realize now it is the very, very end of the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes no fucking sense. Let's encrypt the data with a kill thing, and then now Matt. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into Elysium again. I don't want to get into it. I want to pretend that I enjoyed it more than I did.
What about the Wolverine?
I haven't seen that one yet. No.
Okay.
No desire.
Good?
I give it 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I thought it was good. I think Hugh Jackman's incredible. He gets better and better every time he plays Wolverine.
He's a fucking dreamboat, that guy.
Oh my
I'll tell you that.
gosh.
I just want to be a kettlebell on his wall. I just want to swing me around between his fucking sweaty, hairy thighs. He's a monster. He's a monster.
He's great.
No, you know what? I think the initial reaction that I was getting from that film where people were going like, whoa, it's really good. And then I felt like the second weekend, it was like, it's okay. And I worried that the reaction was, we expected it to be shit, and it wasn't a complete steaming turd, so the gut was, it's good, but if you're saying it's actually good, then I'll check it out.
Coming from Origins, it's kind of hard for it to look bad.
Right, exactly.
So it's better than Origins.
Okay.
And if you like Hugh Jackman, you can appreciate his performance as
Jackman.
Wolverine. He nails it on this one. And also, a reason why I liked it, and a reason why probably both of you guys like it, is it's kind of Japan-centric.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
There's some ninjas and...
Loves me some ninjas.
Yeah, right.
I love ninjas.
By the way, so why are you a big Japan fan?
I love the culture. I really love look, I love that there's that as modern and high tech and crazy and cutting edge as they are in their appreciation for technology and work ethic that leads to new technology and discovery and all that and science. The dichotomy of that mashed up right against traditional, oldest of old school values from from calligraphy to farming techniques to whatever. The fact that those two cultures
Feudal
exist.
society.
Yeah, the fact
that's
that
exactly
you have both
what I
of those
always
things
say.
in the same place, it's gorgeous. And there's something special about being able to wander the streets at 3 a.m. and a clothing store and a restaurant and a club are just opening up. Because their hours are 3 to noon. That's the hours that they're open, and it totally works. And in some parts of the city, you forget that it's 3 a.m. because it's so brightly lit by all the neon and the verticality that you're in a sea of glowing buildings and bustling activity no matter what time it is. It's fucking cleaner than Disneyland in most of the places.
There's not one piece of trash on the highway. I was sitting there looking, trying to find a piece of trash.
Public transportation works on time, and it's amazing. It works so well, and it's so efficient that if there's a train delay, they will go more than 20 minutes. They will go and hand out slips to everybody that's on the train so they can bring them to their employers because the employers will not believe that the train was late. Like, it's that rare of an occurrence. I also love that if you commit suicide by jumping in front of a train, your family has to pay the cleanup costs associated with that, because the cleanup costs, and reimburse people for the delay, because how dare you fuck with their public transportation.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
I love little things like that about it. I love that you could be in the heart of the Yamanote line, like Shinjuku, Shibuya, whatever, and you can go to a district for clothing, a district for electronics, a district for clubbing, a district for temples, and then you can turn around and go 40 minutes in the other direction, you're at a beach. You go to 40 minutes in the other direction, you're at a forest. 40 minutes that way, you're on a mountaintop. Like, I love that it's so condensed and everything is there. And I love that the vaginas are pixelated. That to me is the sexiest thing. When you get a young schoolgirl and and it's just all pixelated, and then when you become pixelated, there's something beautiful about that, almost Avatar-ish. You dock with the censorship.
It tastes Minecrafty also.
Very much, very blocky, blocky with just a hint of hentai, a hint of a wisp of tentacle. Have you been?
Yeah, I love Tokyo. It's one of my favorite cities.
Yeah?
Yeah, for the exact same reason. I love the juxtaposition of the old world versus new world. It's so crazy.
What brought you over there?
Actually,
You and Joshua just went for a little trip.
Did Chris Gore take you over there?
Did Chris Gore
my
show
God.
up?
Oh my gosh!
He's staring into your
Why
soul
would
right
you
now.
do that to me?
Mind babies. He's impregnating you with his eyes.
I can't unsee that, Redban. I can't
He's
unsee
banking on that. That's going to be in your dreams. Joshua, I hate to break it to you. That's what she's going to think of tonight. That's the image that's popping into her head. So you better pop on a slave Leia bikini and hope it rivals that right there. There you go.
Gosh. You guys.
Why were you in Japan?
I'm disturbed. Actually, I was studying that summer at Oxford, and
Ooh, Oxford. I was smoking my bubble pipe in my velvet robe. Pish posh, oil revenue, railroads.
yeah, I was studying British politics and parliamentary debate
Over in Japan?
at Oxford.
Or at Oxford, okay.
Yeah, and I was gone for a long time, and I hadn't seen my family. And my dad works in the tech industry from San Jose, and he.
Are your parents loaded, or did you get the Latino grant? You got the. How do you get in? How do you afford any of that shit?
Going to Oxford?
Yeah,
Well,
is
they're-
Oxford not expensive?
Their education is a lot less expensive than is to
Oh,
go
is
to
it?
USC.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. It's
Well,
like
the
a whole
question
different
is still
structure.
remains on the table. Are your parents loaded?
I don't know.
Your dad works in the tech sector. What does he do? Is he the Intel guy? Is he the guy wearing the suit that was in those commercials doing the robot dance?
He's the Geico Gecko, actually.
God damn it! I knew it. I knew you were saving 20% on your insurance. I knew it. All right, so you were studying. At Oxford.
I was in Oxford, and I hadn't seen my family for months. And I came home, and my dad is traveling a lot for business.
The donkey shows?
When he
Brian.
when he came back, he was like, "Well, I have to go to Japan, but do you want to come with?" And I was like, "Of course, I want to come with."
Yeah.
So I got to spend some time with Dad, and he was in business meetings all day long doing things, and I was kind of
So you got to
there
gallivant around
to
and-
explore the city. Then at night, we'd go out with his coworkers and get dinner and stuff like that, and go to a play like Kabuki show or something and check things out. So it was fun to be able to do that with him, because a lot of it was on my own, exploring this whole city. And I didn't get to prepare for this trip, so I didn't know any Japanese really,
Sure.
other than my little book. And I
Did you
had
go
no
out though?
idea what
Like,
I
did you
was
go out and get
doing.
lost and find yourself
Oh yeah,
in gardens and all?
yeah, it was so much fun. I'd go to museums. I saw a lot of weird avant-garde modern art, which is really, really cool. I did some shopping in Harajuku and seeing the sights.
Did you human centipede with anybody?
Oh my god.
They love it over there. They fucking love it. I love it too. God bless them.
I didn't do that, but I did have some tempura that was amazing.
Yeah, it's the
like-
home of it. They
Yeah.
figured it out.
Have you been to Tenichi? Either of you guys?
No, is that like a Benihana?
No, it's this place that they just do tempura, and I had a lot of amazing, fresh, incredible sushi. And I never thought I would like tempura this much. But this place is like well known for just tempura,
For doing
and
that, yeah.
it's incredible. It's better than I ever thought anything fried could be.
I'm
Did
putting
you
that
go
down
to
as
the
well. That's
Ninja
in the
restaurant?
Oh my god, I made that mistake.
What?
I made that mistake. Well, I had to for a package. They call it a ninja restaurant. It's a fucking glorified Benihana's, but there's like a song and dance like the Magic Castle right before you sit down. So it's like, oh, let's go this way. And then, oh, the bridge opens up and a ninja comes out. And he goes like, ha! And then he runs on. It's like, we better go through the secret passage. And you go like, you crouch down and you walk through like a little thing. And it's like, watch out, ninja. And then another guy will jump out and like what's your drink order? And it's like then they do like sleight of hand magic at your table.
That sounds so
So it's like
funny.
you're at a ninja restaurant, but it's basically like an Asian Blaine saying like doing pick a card tricks or like pulling a ninja hanky out of his pocket and doing this at length. So yeah, that's what it looks like. You sit at the table and they come up and they do close up magic. It's like there's nothing ninja about it. You're at the Magic Castle.
Wow.
I don't know what I was expecting. I think I was expecting like shinobi shuriken training in the background, like people
Yeah.
throwing shurikens into tree stumps and like smoke bombs and shit, but nothing like that.
There's
card
there's a
magic.
lot of restaurants like that though. There's one.
Look up Alcatraz. Did you go to Alcatraz?
No, but I saw that one that where there's like robots fighting.
Yeah,
at one
yeah.
point.
What?
Look up Alcatraz with a Z. Alcatraz is their jail themed restaurant. You go in and there's like when you go to the bathroom, it's like blacklit and there's all these bloody handprints all over the place. They give you like a shot of glowing juice when you go in. They like inject it into your arm. It's not an actual. The needle goes into the plunger, but they simulate a shot, and then halfway through your dinner, the lights will. You sit in little jail cells, like you sit inside a little cell, and there's like a cubby hole that lets you peek into the cell next to you, so you can pass notes to each other. And then halfway through your dinner, the lights will shut off, and their sirens will go off, and a strobe light happens, and these guys in like crazy mutant masks come out, and they shake the bars, and they throw things at you, and there's like a jailbreak. There
And
it
that's
is.
your dinner?
Yeah, you sit in a little cell like this, and you have your dinner, and you order off the menus. It's the fucking. They love their theme restaurants
Yeah.
there, and it's awesome. It's dinner and a show.
Yeah, it's way better than just going to the Applebee's, I guess. You know.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's actually one restaurant that I love where it's in a hotel lobby, and you sit in a boat, and you order your fish, and they put them in these like little baskets off to the side of the boat, and you cast a line into the basket and wait for the fish to bite your bait, and you catch the fish and reel it
yeah.
up, and then they come to your table and prepare it right at the table for you.
I saw
So
that.
you get to feel like you catch a fish.
That's cool.
It's the weirdest fucking
I like
thing ever.
that. I
yeah.
like that.
I want like the American steak version of that, where they hand me like a bat or a club, and I go and I get to beat the cow to death.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And then
Yes.
they take it and carve it up right then and there, throw the meat on the grill. Something classy. Give me a choice of a golf club or a whatever, depending upon the size of the animal. I don't want to be inhumane, but a weapon that makes sense for the size of the beast that I'm about to slaughter.
Yes, I agree.
That's all I'm asking for. Anything else we should promote? Anything? What does Joshua have going on? I know he's on your channel.
He's
making that happen. Let's promote
he's on
something for
Erin
Joshua
Ashby.
here.
He's on the Joven Shires, his YouTube channel. You guys should subscribe to that.
The
we do
Jovenshire?
Yeah, we
How do you spell that?
The Jove. THE.
Well, I got the. It was the
J-O-V.
J-O-V. Oh, the Jove?
Shire, like the Hobbits.
Oh, the Jovenshire. Got it. Okay.
Jovenshire.
The Jovenshire.
Yeah, and he's on Smosh Games, so yeah, you guys could subscribe to that
Congrats
too.
to you guys.
Oh,
I
hey,
wanna-
there I
I'm
am.
wearing a little desk
I
watcher.
want to come to the wedding. Can
You
I be a
do?
guest? I want to perform at it.
Really?
Yeah, I want to
Where
play
are you gonna
violin and
perform?
sing a song or whatever that, or I'll play piano and we'll sing a little
Are you going to bring
Layla or something
Chris
like that.
Gore as your date?
Of course. It's a Goreformance. It's going to happen. It's going to be our first date, and it's going to be amazing. He's going to tell you your dress looks lovely.
Is he going to wear the slave Leia?
Absolutely.
Are you going to dress
Have you
up
guys talked
as-
about marriage yet? Have you and Joshua talked about it?
Joshua and I,
Yeah.
we're still
want
in the,
kids?
We're in the beginning
How many
phases.
kids do you want? Do you want 2.5? How many?
Do I want?
Yeah.
White,
Do you want
black,
kids? Are you going to wait? Yeah. What color should they be?
Man, I don't know.
No? Okay, that's fine. You don't have to know just yet. He's not
think I
pressuring
want
you.
2.
Joshua, stop pressuring her. Two's a
want
good
2 in
number.
general.
But you got to be done with your career. You got to have your career done. I
Really?
think. Yeah, I mean, you can have a career afterwards, but I think you got to accomplish everything you need to accomplish
Man, then
pre-child.
I'm never having kids.
Oh, well then
I
don't.
have time
Then
for
don't do
that.
it. Adopt them later. Have when you have the nanny and the team in place that can actually raise them and be their mothers, then bring a kid into your life.
Don't we
and
have the
think-
technology
Man.
to freeze the kid yet?
I think you can put them in cryostasis,
Yeah.
and then you go off on your
Wouldn't that be
trip or
great
go
to
to your
solo
movie,
the kid?
and then
Yeah.
you thaw them out and let it go again.
That'd
Why
be
not?
awesome to thaw your baby out in like 20 to 30 years.
Hell yeah. Or just for a quick weekend. Like, why can't I fuck boarding my dog at Canine Loft? Let me throw
Right.
it in a fridge for a week, and then I come
Oh,
back, and then
yeah.
my puppy stays the same age. It's not like I miss its formidable years.
That's a great idea.
You thaw them out. Just treat them like fish sticks.
We
Furry
have-
little fish
They
sticks.
should be able to do that.
Eternal puppy.
Are you guys getting married anytime soon? You guys are living together?
No.
You guys aren't sharing a place together? Why hasn't he asked you to move in? What's wrong, Joshua?
I live
Fear of
with my
commitment?
brother,
Does Joshua have a
remember?
fear of commitment? Yeah, well, living with a brother is one thing. Living with the man of your dreams is another. He's saying he's not the man of your dreams? Joshua's listening right now, so I would tread carefully. I would tread
Joshua.
lightly. Joshua, put a ring on it. What are you doing?
Put a ring on
Just
it.
fucking figure it out. Kay's Jewelers, man. Takes a second. Amazon Prime that shit.
I feel bad every time Erin comes to Death Squad. It's just all about
It's
relations.
all about my love life.
We talked. I would say the majority of the discussion was not about your love life.
That's true.
I think we could go out and parse the minutes. I'm just saying, congrats to you and congrats to Joshua. I want to come to the wedding. I think you guys are adorable.
Thank Thank
I saw
you.
the chemistry right away. I'm glad that I was present enough to notice that.
We
And,
actually do a series of videos on his channel called Teach My Girlfriend Games, where we play games like Cloudberry Kingdom and DuckTales
Yeah.
remastered.
And are you good at gaming, or does he have to give you the healing role? And
Kevin, you know what I'm good at? I'm good at fighting games and
That's right.
sports games, just
That's
like in
right.
real life. I'm good at fighting. I'm good at
good at
sports.
fighting at sports?
But these like go to different levels, jumping, pogo sticks, DuckTales. I'm not really that great at these games.
You got to get Dive Kick. You two need to play Dive Kick
Yeah?
on the YouTube channel.
All right.
But real quick, Dive Kick is a game that I thought it was out. I thought it was out. Maybe people are playing pre-release download codes. But can you pull up footage of Dive Kick real quick? It'll be the last thing, and then I'll let you go. Dive Kick is a fighting game where all you can do is jump or dive and kick, and that's it. And different characters have different styles of jumping and different styles of kicking.
Didn't we show this?
We may have, and it's one hit, one win. You hit somebody, you win. That's it, and you play 7
Nice.
rounds, and all you do is jump and kick. And apparently, it's super addicting and really, really fun. And I thought it was out. I was watching people live stream it last night. Do we not have it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
What, you got an ad?
commercial.
You got a
Yeah.
commercial? Fucking internet. Just forget it. Just Google it. Figure it out.
What's this unicorn makeout mania?
I don't know. We've gone way too. I've held you up for way too long. We don't have time for Unicorn Makeout Mania. We'll get to that next time. I think next show we'll do a bunch of indie games and we'll run through them. We'll make it happen. There's Dive Kick. Select a character, jump and kick.
Oh, this is so up my alley.
Yeah, this is all you need. I mean, it's fighting rules apply, and each character has their own style, and one hit wins. And if you get a headshot on someone, then they're dazed the next round, like an old Street Fighter game.
Yes, those
And-
are my favorites.
Yeah, and if you win like all 7 rounds against your opponent and they don't win one, you quote fraud them, and it puts something on their record, and you call them in for being a fraud. Like, you ain't a gamer, you a fraud. It's indie. I love it. Dive Kick. Check it out. Joshua, fucking get a ring. Zales, figure it out, man.
Zales, come on.
Get the
I
Zales
think I
going.
deserve a little better than that.
Go to
right?
Things Remembered and have a fountain pen engraved and say you're going to use this to write the chapters of your life together. It's not that hard. Make it artsy and poetic and shit. It's fine. Erin, thank you so much for coming out. I appreciate
Thank you
that.
for
it was a pleasure to
having
chat with
me.
you.
It was so much fun.
I want people to go check out your stuff. People are tweeting to Joshua. They're saying they're tweeting to Joshua. Is Joshua on Twitter? We should shout him out as well.
Yeah, he is, the Jovenshire.
The Jovenshire on
Yeah.
Twitter. All right, I'm going to toss him a
and
follow.
then I'm at Erin A. Darling. My YouTube is Erin Ashley D. Facebook, Erin Darling fan page. Crave Online, AMC Movie Talk, and clever movies. I have a show called It's a Wrap.
Boom.
And we
Figure
should-
it out.
And we should say that a lot of people are asking what the pink thing that Erin has in front of her is not a vibrator.
This?
Everyone thought the whole time that you were just carrying around your little pocket vibrator.
That is so funny. You know,
I like
this
that you
is-
would take it out and put it on the table, though, just casually.
This is, oh yeah, you guys ever with me. This is a pen from Leslie Kahn. This is where I take acting.
You do the Leslie Kahn thing?
Yeah, Leslie
What's
Kahn,
her
the
style?
Constitute.
Isn't her style about, like, what is your character feeling about how she's feeling about what the other character feels about them? Is that her thing, or no? Is that somebody else's method?
kind of it's very thought focused. So you're supposed to get into your thoughts based off of what the other character just did. It's very in the moment,
The thoughts
very present.
of the character that you're playing, not your thoughts as the actor, right?
Yes, your
Okay.
character thoughts.
I can't fucking act for shit.
Yeah.
I'm always going like, if I'm in a friend's bit or whatever, I'm like, well, I'll do what I think this person would do. So I'm going to act this thing. And I'm clearly not in the role. I'm not the character, and I'm not the moment. I'm just like, I'll say what I think this person would do. I feel like I'm driving. There's pulleys and levers and buttons inside of me, and I'm just sort of moving myself as a puppet within the scene. I don't know how to get within the character.
That's totally what I used to do. I used to do what I thought I should do, and now actually taking these classes have totally blown my mind. I
Yeah.
feel so much better. Yeah. I mean, I'm improv based and stand up based, so a lot of my acting is very, very loose.
Got it.
Go with the flow, but now I'm learning a lot more.
And they hand out pocket
structure.
rockets. So
And
it's
they
like
give
for the
you
price of the class, you get a little rabbit that you can bring around in your clutch.
so many different colors too. Like you got like
For
the
marking
blue
your
and the
scripts with different
brown.
things? Is that what
yeah,
it is?
Totally.
I
How'd you
get
know
it,
that?
Leslie?
You're so
Leslie,
intuitive.
I date an actress. Oh my god. The amount of flip cam nights I've had of putting her on tape. Oh.
Oh, you're such a good boyfriend.
Waterproof GoPros.
Oh my god. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Rubber sheets. It's a mess.
boy.
But she gets those rolls. She gets them rolls.
Good for her.
All right, Brian, anything you want to promote, good sir? You got to give out a TV code, right? I mean, let's do that.
Well, we got this new. These guys are upgraded our studio with this new TV, and they're also sending us a video game arcade.
Look at that shit.
So they're just fans of the show. This is the new 4K television. It usually goes for $12.99. They have a coupon code that.
Wait, I'm gonna hold on.
Yeah.
$12.99. Because I would gladly pay 4 times that for that television set. The resolution, amazing. The real estate, phenomenal. The heat signature, barely detectable. A Japanese radar could not detect this television if we were flying in to bomb the city. What? It has a USB port.
Oh, it's got 2 USB ports.
What?
And these are actually 4K photos that you can actually see.
What?
I'm sure on the TV you can't even tell, but have you even seen 4K? Look at that.
That's amazing.
That is ridiculous.
Erin can barely contain herself.
I know.
I'm glad there's a seatbelt on that chair because you almost went flying through the ceiling. Are you texting Chris Gore? It's fine.
And one of the coolest
my
things is,
God.
though, because of the resolution, you can use this as like a monitor that's way cheaper than buying one of those Apple
Okay, so I'm in
monitors.
$12.99. I got it. Where do I get one?
You go to 4kspecial.com, type in the code Death Squad.
Wait a minute. What's that code going to do? Because, I mean, $12.99 is already steal. It can't get any fucking cheaper.
You're going to get it for $9.99 for a 50-inch, or you're going to go for $6.49 for a 39-inch. So 4K special. Thanks a lot to the guys.
Oh, my God.
Over there at
Woo!
Nanotech.
I finished twice.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Coupon code Death Squad. Go to 4K. What is it?
4kspecial.com.
Erin's doing it right now.
Wow, she's
I
doing it
am.
on her
literally
iPhone.
there right now. Are you
That's how
apologizing to
upset I am.
Joshua? Are you saying, I'm so sorry. I had no
I'm-
idea this
I'm
guy was this
telling
much of a
him,
douchebag.
Your Skype presence was requested, fool.
It was, and he didn't make it on. We're going to have it back on. We're going to have to do a double date. We're going to have to do a double date special with Chris Gore in here and Joshua. And we're going to play like a newlywed game. You're not going to know who's giving the answer. You'll be sequestered, and okay.
That's pretty badass. This is actually the first time I'm looking at
It
the
really
photos.
is.
Wow.
It's actually a really good-looking TV. Fantastic. And 4K is going to be the new hotness. 3D obviously failed.
Yeah.
4K, we'll figure it out soon enough. And there's some YouTube videos that are actually in 4K now, so there are ways to pipe 4K content to one of these monitors. So check it out. I want them to send me one.
Yeah, right.
That's all I'm saying.
Well,
That's
maybe
all I'm
we
saying.
can
I'm going to
get
enter the
one
coupon
over
code hook a motherfucker up.
That's right.
And hopefully
Look
one
at that.
appears on my
Craziness.
doorstep. I just tweeted somebody, apparently. All right, so check that out. Also, you can get all sorts of Death Squad merch over at Shop Squad. What is it?
ShopSquad.tv, the new
ShopSquad.tv.
Kitty Cat t-shirt is out.
Get it. Hey, Erin, darling. You
Yes.
are a darling. Thank you so much for putting up with the two of us. I wish you the absolute best in your career. I
Thank
truly
you.
do.
You
Anytime
too.
we can be of assistance or help you out, or if you need, I know a guy who knows Chris Gore. If you need some digits, I can hook you up. We'll take care of it. In the meantime, I got to promote my stuff. Again, pointless.merchtable.com. A lot of you have been tweeting me saying that your shirts are shipping. I want to see them shirts stretched across your nerd bellies. I want to see them covered in Cheeto dust. I want to see you chugging Code Red while wearing our shit. So please go to pointless.merchtable.com. Grab a shirt.
I want to get this one. This is my favorite one.
I'll get you one.
love
I'll hook it
that
up.
I just
one.
love the
Size.
color scheme.
Thank
It's
you
so
so
like the
much.
pink
Is that
and
like
the blue.
a rainbow
Thank
explosion?
you.
What's
Thank
happening?
you. It really is. It's just an ocular explosion. That's what
love
we were
it.
going
That's a
for.
really nice looking
Just a
shirt.
bukkake of colors. But you can check out different sizes, different colors, different designs. We're going to be launching some very soon. There's also verbiage on the site. If you are an artist or a fan and you want to make a design for us, we have an email address there. You can submit it. We will give you a percentage of each and every item that is sold if you design it. That's kind of cool. We're really excited for it. People have been sending designs. Keep them coming in. You can also go to supercreative.tv. That's my production company. I just found out today we got a new pilot. I still can't talk about it, thank you, but I'm fucking psyched for it because I think it's going to be a really funny show. So we'll be talking about that very soon. Super Creative. Whoa!
One
Look
of the
at that.
best
Wow.
websites, I swear, man.
Thank you.
How much did you pay for this website? Like $1 million?
Well,
What the fuck?
Well, no, the website was actually our new website's going to be fucking great. It's launching in like 3 weeks, but that animation was the one that I was really
Yes.
proud of. Like that's one that I slaved over.
And I really like your guys' logo. That's just
Thanks,
nifty.
man. Yeah, that's we spent some time on that. That was the one thing I checked in on with this business. Everything else is autopilot and wishes.
Right.
So supercreative.tv, check out what we're doing there. Pointless.merchtable.com, and finally the Pointless Forum. I'm making it a point myself, no pun intended, to head on over there each and every night. We've got some good fans that do link dumps of every episode. We're watching what's going on, so please go there, leave your opinions, let me know who you want to see on the show, send me shirt designs, all that madness. It's fucking good fun, guys. What is it, 2013? Let's fucking figure it out. Let's just have a good time. Can't we all be friends? Can you do me a favor real quick before we end this bad boy? Go to YouTube, type in bacon pancake, 10 hour.
Bacon pancake.
Bacon pancake 10 hour.
10 hour?
10 hour. Yeah. A friend sent me this link and I clicked it and left it open as a joke. And an hour and 45 minutes later, it was still playing in another tab. And I just decided, why not end the show to this? I should have decided that in advance, but that's the kind of producer I am. Bacon pancakes, 10 hours. If you haven't let this enter your life, you're missing out.
Bacon pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Take some bacon and I'll put it in a pancake. Bacon pancakes,
Just let it go.
that's what it's gonna make. Bacon pancakes. Bacon pancakes.
Oh, this is
making
awesome.
bacon pancakes.
Oh, wait, no, this isn't
Bacon
find the one that I
and I'll put
tweeted,
it in
though.
a
Hold on.
pancake.
Go to my
Bacon
Twitter,
pancakes.
please.
Hold on. That's like Vine. That's kind of what I find myself doing on Vine, is just sitting there looking over and over at a Vine and just never moving off of it. Let's see. Where is it? Bacon.
I said, I wrote, no, if you go to my timeline, it says, I've been playing this for the last 30 minutes. It will likely continue to play for 30 more. August 19th. Did Joshua text you?
I don't know. Let me see.
Oh, my God. You're in the
Did
doghouse.
he?
You better get some roses on the way home.
I am?
You better get a sack of oranges
Oh,
off the freeway.
He said watching now, but I don't know when he sent that.
Hey, Joshua.
Can I submit a design, a T-shirt design?
Yeah, you do design as well?
No, but
But you can submit one if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could put Joshua versus Chris.
Oh, my
Gore
God. Yes. Guys, vote on the forum.
And have like 2 avatars.
We're going to do a make a date, a bracket style thing. Is it Chris Gore or is it Joshua? We're going to have a pointless wedding. It's going to happen. There will be animals, there will be magic tricks, and there will be ninjas. Brian's going to bring his dog. His dog will officiate. It's going to be phenomenal. But crank that shit up.
Oh, wow.
Bacon
What is
pancakes, 10-hour mix. Do that white girl windmill. You got to get his arms going.
Watch out, Olivia.
Watch out, Oman. Hey, folks, this has been the Pointless Podcast. You have been someone listening to it. And 2013, huzzah, figure that shit out. I love you, Detroit. I love everybody in this room, except myself. Kisses, hugs, and belly rubs. Good night.
Bacon pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Take some bacon and I'll put it in a pancake. Bacon pancakes, that's what it's gonna make.